Good morning. It's now time for another edition of Freedom with Steve Nichols. Brought to you in part by Sam Dennis Law, personal injury attorney, methodical, prepared, and battle ready. And by Kilby Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, dental care for the whole family. Now, available on Facebook, YouTube, Discord, and freedomnetworks.com each weekday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Here's your host and last best hope for freedom, Steve Nichols.
All right, good morning, everybody. Let me know if there's any problems, as we always ask to start the show. Good morning. We're broadcasting live from the SGAwater.com studio in beautiful Valdosta, Georgia. Appreciate you tuning in. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Available here on YouTube at the freedomnetworks.com site, Facebook, and also Discord. So several ways to get the show. Big announcement today with Joe coming on right after my show. We'll give you details on how to tune into that as we get closer to the 9 o'clock hour. We'll be glad to have that, but we're glad to have that smoothed out, and looks like we're ready to roll. So we'll be talking more about that. We do the pledge and the prayer each and every morning here on Freedom with Steve Nichols. The pledge is brought to you by Ross Automotive and the prayer as well. But Ross Automotive is located at 432 Connell Road. They're open to 6 p.m. each and every day. Give you 10% military discount if you've served in the military or are currently serving in the military. Free brake inspection to let you know how much longer you can go on your brakes, you know, how urgent it is to get that taken care of. Regular service work and major as well as minor automotive repair. So go by 432 Connell Road. Tell Ramon and the gang that you appreciate them, and you'll be getting your car worked on by some professional folks with the latest in diagnostic equipment. We also broadcast live from the SGAwater.com studio, as I said, and we ask you to go to SGAwater.com or call them at 229-251-1100 and get that free water test scheduled and done so that you'll know that your water is safe to drink. Sometimes there's stuff in there and you don't even know it. Things that could cause major health problems like kidney stones and just stuff you don't want in your water. So get it checked by going to SGAwater.com or calling 229-251-1100. Let's go to the Lord in prayer this morning. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this weekend, Lord. Thank you for the time with family and friends, Lord, the time to get out and enjoy the great outdoors, the wonderful gift you gave us, Lord. May we, when we close our eyes at night, Lord, may we not forget the importance of it and what it means to have it and to be good stewards of what you've put before us. Lord, giving you the thanks and believing in your Son, Jesus Christ, believing in our in salvation, the pathway to salvation, Lord, to be able to, just by our faith and giving our commitment to the belief you sent Jesus, we'll enter the gates of heaven, Lord. Thank you so much. Lord, may we not take our place here on earth and our time here on earth for granted. May we not waste it, Lord, when we find ourselves in jams and in pickles, and may we just work through them, Lord, and renew our focus and always choose the next right thing in the midst of chaos. Lord, just be with us as we go through this week and this day, and as we fight our battles, and as we go through the daily grind, Lord, of getting children to school, getting them parented up and grown up, Lord. Issues with our families, our employers, our clients, Lord, may we just put you first and get through those in a way that will be pleasing to you amidst sometimes grave circumstances, Lord. Be with us, guide us, protect us, and keep us, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, let's say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, 229-469-1417. That is the Valdosta transmission phone number if you'd like to get a phone call in. Be glad to take it, discuss whatever, whatever might be on your mind. Still struggling with them allergies. I'm going to have to call Dr. Price and get a prescription to knock it out like it did last year, but I don't want to go through that again. So I'm going to call him today. Speaking of Dr. Price, we've got new articles from him and David Penny up on the website, Freedom Networks, that's with an X.com. you need to get familiar with that and visit it every day. That's where you're going to see Joe's show. So right when I sign off at 9 o'clock, you're going to need to make sure that you make your way over to the YouTube channel or at Freedom Networks, or just go to the website, freedomnetworks.com. Now, you're not going to be able to get him on the Discord app. I think I'll check with Larry as the show goes on, but I think he'll have Joe piping through on the Freedom with Steve Nichols website. I mean, our Facebook page too. So I'll keep you up to date on that. All right, 229-469-1417. That's the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. Ring it if you will. What you want to talk about this morning? There's not a whole lot of, I guess, groundbreaking news. We're still talking about the FBI's raid and execution of a search warrant at Mar-a-Lago, where I'm, willing to talk about that. Salman Rushdie attacked on stage. The Iranian government, had put out a hit on him many, many years ago. They have now possibly successfully stabbed an American here on American soil. But let me read a little bit from this article. We'll learn about it more together. An Iranian government official claimed Monday that Tehran was not involved in the recent attack on author Salman Rushdie, who was stabbed in New York ahead of a scheduled speech. In Iran's first public comments addressing the assault, the country's foreign minister spokesman Nasser Kanani said in a briefing to journalists that Iran should not be accused of any involvement. We, in the incident on the attack of Salman Rushdie in the U.S., do not consider that anyone deserves blame and accusations except him and his supporters. Nobody has the right to accuse Iran in this regard. Rushdie was stabbed multiple times before a speech in Chautauqua Institution in Chautauqua, New York on Friday. The alleged attacker rushed onto the stage and stabbed him. Rushdie underwent surgery at a local hospital. He suffered a damaged liver, severed nerves in an arm and an eye. His agent said he would likely lose the injured eye. The alleged attacker was 21-year-old Hadi Matar, and he has pled not guilty to charges related to the assault. Rushdie has lived under the threat of a fatwa on his life after Iran's late supreme leader Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini condemned his book, The Satanic Verses, as blasphemy in 1989 and called for the author's death. The book was also banned in Iran. A fatwa is a decree from an Islamic religious leader. Iran has offered more than $3 million for anyone who kills Rushdie. Iran's government has since distanced itself from Khomeini's decree, but Rushdie still faced opposition. A semi-official Iranian religious foundation raised a bounty for Rushdie in 2012 from 2.8 to 3.3 million. Now, I don't know much about that or, what have you, but if there is a link between Iran, it's oddly, I didn't read in the article where it said the descent of the gentleman. I see a picture of him and looking at his name, judging the book by the cover. I know he ain't from Hayhira. I'll just put it that way. Whether or not he has Iranian ties or anything, I don't know. It just don't say it in that particular article, and I've not really paid a lot of attention on it, so don't really know. All right, y'all want to talk about the information found at the Mar-a-Lago. Bobby takes exception to the word raid. Execution of a search warrant is not a raid. Well, it's been called raids as long as I've been alive. When I watched the old Elliot Ness movies, when they served a search warrant on different businesses that Al Capone had, they raided them with the search warrant. So that's I don't think you can raid a house without a search warrant. So I don't get caught up on that. That's it's a raid to me, whether or not it's technical or polite or politically correct or incorrect. I don't get into all that. I just know from watching Law and Order, when they serve a warrant on a house and the FBI is there, they raid the house in execution of the search warrant. That's just the way I've always known. And I don't get if that's wrong or improper, It's just from decades of it being drilled into my brain. So I say it was a raid. I mean, I'd say that if they did my house like that, or if they did whoever, Joe Biden's house, they raided it, whatever the case may be. I believe it was a raid. So anyway, enough of that. The contents of what they found, apparently. Now let me just say, let me just say this. It's odd at this moment. It is very odd. The one thing that I didn't want to happen in this was that the narrative start getting out there that the FBI planted documents on there. It does not seem that that's going to happen, which is good. I didn't want to have to go down that road because there's absolutely there's no navigating that. You're either going to believe it or you're not going to believe it, and you're going to believe it or not believe it totally based on no evidence because we're not there, right? So thank God, as soon as the list of 11 sets of classified documents came out, Trump immediately said, hey, he didn't deny that they were there. That was good as far as the narrative of planting evidence goes. He simply said those were already classified, or those were already declassified. So that's his stance. He said they've been declassified. Have they? Now that's going to be the argument. That's going to be is somebody going to be able to prove they were, or is he just going to say, I thought they were? What were they specifically? All that's going to be stuff that's going to be normal. And we're going to normally argue and look into that. So there you go on that. Now, this stemmed from somebody seeing prior to the raid that there was documents marked top secret. He didn't deny that. He has consistently said that, hey, why did they have to do this? They're doing this for political reasons. All they had to do was ask me for the stuff back. And they never did, according to the timeline from the Trump camp, not refuted from the DOJ or the FBI. When they discovered them there, they simply asked him to secure them and lock them up, which he did. Why didn't they just say, hey, we got to have those back? You're not supposed to have them. Okay, take them back. That's the side that Trump is taking and saying that's what happened. I mean, that's to me, that's plausible. It's believable. So why didn't they just ask for it back? If they weren't supposed to be there and they saw them there and they said secure them, why didn't they say, hey, give them back? It makes no sense, really. And there's the whole thing that I can't get past. I'm nobody. I'm not really going to be in a situation where I've got something, a file or something. I've got let's just say this phone book here is a file. If I got this file and I know I ain't supposed to have it, whether it's 1 or 11 or 30 of them, or boxes of them, and I know they ain't got them, or I know that in some of those files there's something I shouldn't have, or I'm trying to steal it or whatever, or I know I shouldn't have it. I knowingly know I shouldn't have it, or there's any confusion whatsoever. You're not going to find it. You're just not going to find it. It's going to be in a secure place where nobody can walk by and see it. The whole thing does not matter. One thing we do know is that they didn't ask for it back by their own admission. Because how do I know that? Because he's saying right now, why don't y'all just ask for it back? Nobody has said we did. Logic here. I don't know. The whole thing is just very, very strange to me. All right, so let's look at what it did. While details about the documents themselves remain scarce, the laws cited in the warrant offer new insight into what the FBI was looking for when it searched Trump's home. Well, this is a simple one to me. If somebody did see something marked top secret, it doesn't take it doesn't take anybody with much skill or knowledge at all to realize that if we saw something there that's marked top secret, in the search warrant, we've got to list some of the laws that we might be saying that could be violated here. That's easy, right? So laws covering destroying or concealing documents to obstruct government investigations, or the unlawful removal of government records, or violations of the Espionage Act. That doesn't bother me that that's in the warrant. It would bother me if it wasn't in the warrant, because you got to know the ramifications of the possibilities, and it doesn't take a Philadelphia lawyer to figure that out. So there's nothing there. I mean, of course, that's in there. So that doesn't mean he's guilty of espionage, illegal removal of the documents, or none of that stuff. That's just the possibilities if it's determined if the top secret documents weren't declassified, and he did make the lame brain decision to take highly classified documents that he wanted to take and peddle off to somebody and leave them in plain sight. This is ridiculous. Now, my prediction is that the argument is specifically going to just simply come down to what's in this is elementary. First of all, what is in the documents and were they declassified? Because think about the government side. If they really doing their due diligence and they're following on something that's marked declassified or excuse, that's marked top secret, if they're really doing their due diligence, they wouldn't know if it was declassified or not because they don't know what's in it. So if they see something marked top secret, they got to follow up on it. You open it up, you see what's in it, then you determine, was it declassified? Okay. That's where the argument's going to be, in my opinion. This is not complicated. He took the complication off the table quickly by saying, well, okay, those documents, they were already declassified. So now the argument's going to be over just that. One of the less sensitive items taken from Trump's resort, according to the property receipt, is his paperwork and process of pardoning Roger Stone. Of course, Stone was an ally. He was convicted of the 2019 lying to Congress during its probe of the fake Russian interference scandal. Trump pardoned Stone before he left office, which shielded Stone from his prison stint. Now, it's unclear how Stone-related documents seized during the search is tied to the broader criminal probe into Trump's potential mishandling of classified materials. It's probably not. How could it be? So there's 11 documents, 11 sets of classified documents. They range from being labeled classified to top secret. Top secret is the highest level of classification. We don't know what the top secret documents are, and we probably won't, right? Why? Because they're top secret. We're not going to know. So that's another thing that's going to muddy the water. Trump's camp may say, well, I mean, yeah, they were marked top secret, but they're really not top secret because they declassified them. Or that's going to be the argument. That's going to be that's going to be the argument. Simple as that. So what say you? 229-469-1417. I don't know. I don't know where it's going. It's it's all about grabbing the narrative so that you can control the spin, I suppose. Now, let me talk about controlling the narrative and being able to stay on top of the spin and direct the spin. On Fox, headline: Bank of America chief economist sees high chance of mild recession this year. Does that headline, I'm going to just ask it. This is how I look. Am I the only one that sees anything here? Tell me if you hear anything weird about that statement. Bank of America chief economist sees high chance of mild recession this year. Is anybody else noticing the headline? I'm going to give it a minute. Y'all put it on Facebook if you notice it. Something jumped right out off the page at me when I read this headline. One more time. Bank of America chief economist sees high chance of mild recession this year. Anybody notice it? Tell you what, I'll give you just a minute to think about it, and I'll come back to it. I'll talk a little football on there, which is all good. Aaron Spike says, until they beat the Dogs, they'll be number 2 or less in my book. Yeah, that's that. That's right. All right, T-Rex hit it. He hit the nail on the head in a roundabout way. Bank of America chief economist sees high chance of mild recession. T-Rex says he's a little late. That's right. We're already in a recession. It's about controlling the narrative, right? They've controlled it. They've got Megan Henney of Fox Business now agreeing. Is the U.S. economy on the cusp of a recession? According to Bank of America's newest chief economist, the answer is yes. They were successful in redefining recession. They won. They won that narrative. Every news agency out there now, or at least many of the reporters in those agencies, are still questioning, are we heading to a recession, when by the very definition of recession, we're already there. The economy shrank 2 quarters in a row. That is a recession. We're there. We're not on the cusp of a recession. Now, if the headline would have said Bank of America chief economist sees a high chance of the recession worsening this year, or categorizes the current recession as mild, those would be fair points to debate. But we are in a recession. But that's how the narrative works. You must control the narrative. Whatever's going on with these documents. And again, we do not know. We just don't know. Because why? Again, they're classified. They're top secret. Now, were they declassified? De-escalated? Down to something less? We don't know. Should he have had them? We don't know. Is it a big deal? We don't know. It is pure speculation on our parts right now. But we can logically analyze it, and that's what I'm doing. Good morning, caller. You're on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Steve. How you doing?
I'm doing. T-Rex, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, anxious to see how my new phone works. I had to get a new phone this weekend. You hear me loud and clear?
Sounds like it's working fantastic to me.
Can't get my Facebook account, though. I'm still watching you on my old phone on Facebook.
I got you. I got to download the app, I guess.
I can't remember the password.
Oh, okay. Golly. That happened. That happened to me. It took a lot to straighten that out. And I'm not confident in telling you that I have gotten it straightened out. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm starting to think I ain't going to get it straightened out. I'm going to have to set up a new account.
Yeah, you may have to. I have
or
to.
I'll just start listening to you on YouTube.
Yep, we got 4 places and more coming soon. So looking forward to seeing how this transition into the 9 o'clock hour goes with Joe's new show. So
Yeah, I want to hear that today. I should be
Mhm.
able to hear it. Well, I'm not going to be able to hear. Is he going to be on YouTube too, or
Yeah,
all the same?
all you got to do, it's not complicated. If all else fails, the easiest thing to do, go to the website,
Mhm.
freedomnetworks.com, click on the box and play it. It's right there. It's so easy.
What's the URL again? Freedom Networks.
Yeah, with an X, freedomnetworksx.com. Yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff
Okay,
on
you're
there.
a .com now. You were a .live for a while.
We are freedomnetworks.com. We've never been live with Freedom Networks. That was an old website you're talking about, but freedomnetworks.com.
Steve, you're going through more changes than I can keep up with.
Change is inevitable, brother. Change is inevitable. More coming too. So it's all about making it. Again, it's so easy. A caveman could do it, or to do the Geico commercial.
Be
But
careful now.
yeah,
I think an
freedomnetworks.com.
insurance company did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
See,
think that was
Charles,
Geico or somebody. That
it
was
was
an old one,
Geico.
the old caveman.
Oh yeah, Charles Shepard just wrote on here. This is the reason why I keep hammering this website. Charles says he's restricted on Facebook again. He don't know what that means. He can still post, but he's restricted somehow. When all these restrictions and these bans and all that go on, you can always go to freedomnetworks.com and just watch the show right there. You can take your iPhone or your Android, you can put the URL in there, get to the website, click play, put your earbud in or lay it on your seat, whatever you want to do. But you'll always be able to hear me at my website. That's the easiest place and the preferred place. If somebody asks me where would I prefer you listen to that, that's where. Simple as
Well,
that.
I'm going to try it today. I'm going to try to get my headphones set back up. My Bluetooth busted. I busted my old phone. So my technology is a little shaky today, but I'm going to spend about a half an hour here when I get off the phone with you, try to get it set up. I got a late meeting. I'm not going to be able to make Doughboys tonight, unfortunately.
Oh my goodness. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, that's terrible, isn't it?
Yep.
That just shoots Monday all to hell.
Yeah.
And tomorrow they sent me to the fat farm at work. I got to go to the nutritionalist, and tried to start the diet this weekend. If you were looking at my Facebook post,
yeah, I had a lot of people. I say a lot. I had 2 or 3 people call me and ask me if you were okay that you had made some posts about that, and I said, well, I don't know. I said, just looking at it, I think he's going on a diet would be my guess. But
yeah.
so is this
Yeah,
something
my
you're doing
primary
voluntarily?
physician kicked me over.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, they're not putting a gun to my head or anything, but my primary physician and cardiologist referred me to a nutritionalist. And once you get into the system, I guess, who doesn't need to lose weight and be healthy? So I'm not resisting it. It's they're good folks I work for down there, and I'm just going to turn myself over to them. I'm too damn fat. I know it.
well, we all, honestly, most all of us, we're a fat country. I'm just going to say it like that. We are one of the fattest countries in the world, including me. I need to lose about 15 pounds. I mean, we're just fat people. So you ain't the Lone Ranger, Troy. You just ain't.
100. I'm 115 ahead of you.
Well,
You need 15. I need 115 off.
Well, I mean, that's the good news is
You
you're
know,
choosing to do
me off
something
is
about
I'd
it.
lost 80 a couple of years ago, man.
Yeah.
And then I had this leg injury and laid up, made excuses, and gained it all back. Quit walking, and God, it's just all my life I've struggled with this. Sick of it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be buried in a piano case, so I'm going to go along with it.
That's
Something I
right.
wanted to ask you, I can't remember or tell you. Oh, about Facebook. Somebody, the only friends I have since I got hacked on Facebook last time are about 36 friends, and most of them are from, the Freedom Network here.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody posted a real funny picture, a comparison of Michael Jackson and Nancy Pelosi side to side pictures. They were very similar. It was funny. And it said something like, before the conspiracy theory talks, just look at it. And anyway, I've forgotten an old friend of mine, and I have an old friend of mine in Detroit, Michigan. And I've been talking to her, and I've been sending her some stuff, but she is liberal. And I forgot to flick the settings back. And when I sent that, it went only to her. And I mean, she sent me back a response that, it weren't pretty. So I had to, I just unfriended her, and I got to messing around with, and then I broke the phone. So now I'm really, I think I'm just going to walk away from Facebook again, honestly.
Yeah, you can.
But that Nancy Pelosi thing was funny.
That's right. David's asking, he says he went to freedomnetworks.com and noticed you can't comment on it. I don't think you can comment on freedomnetworks.com. I do know you can comment on YouTube because I get the comments in my feed here from YouTube from the people listening there. But
man, pick up the phone. Pick
Mhm.
up the phone.
That's right. Well,
Call.
we created a monster when we started this Facebook Live stuff back when I was at Black Crow. The enjoyment for many is to be able to read the comments and the thoughts that other people say, you know, on the feed. So that's a feature that a lot of people like, and that's the only reason I stay on Facebook is because of the comments. That's it. If I had my way, honestly, I would probably try to figure out how to just do it from the website and drive everybody there. If I had my I would have two things in the perfect world, and I think we're going to that. Not to mean that we're going to get rid of the other stuff, but we're going to have our own app that you can download on the phone. It'll say Freedom with Steve Nichols on there, or Freedom Networks is what it'll say. You'll download that app and you'll just hit that app. And then the other preferred way would be the going to the website itself. Now, many won't like that because they can't comment, they can't participate. So I'm going to stay on. I'm not going to choose to get off of Facebook. We're going to stay there as long as they keep us. But I
wouldn't think it'd be too. I mean, come on, man. There's got to be some kind of app that you can interface with that would allow the real time chat. That's not that sophisticated. Facebook don't have a corner on that, right?
It's all about money. If you got the money, basically, if you got the money, if you can dream it, you can do it. It's just that simple. So right now, we can't afford to get our own server here that would be capable enough to process, 40,000 listeners. It's just not affordable right now. So we have to do it through somebody else's server. We basically rent that space for $55 a month to be able to broadcast on a network that can handle the capacity of that many listeners.
Yeah. Well, you're growing, man. I was, I ain't diving into politics this morning. I got too much to do. Just move the show along. Hey, Ron, thanks for the offer bringing some fish. I won't see you tonight, but we already tackled that.
10-4.
I'll catch you all on the flip side.
All right, brother. Take it easy, man.
All right.
All right. See you later.
Bye-bye.
All right. 229-469-1417. Discord. You can chat on Discord. That's exactly right, Sherry. Thank you for pointing that out. Be back. Renee asked if we're on Rumble. No, we're not. May or may not go on there. I don't know. We're going to focus on a couple of platforms that seem to be very tolerant of our free speech. Rumble is one of them. Twitch is another place that we are looking at too, and so we'll we're gonna get that. It's all about money. It's just takes a lot of money to do it. So, but just remember, you can always get me on my own website. I don't think I'll throw myself off of there. So 229-469-1417. Yeah, 15 pounds. I'm in the 15-pound club too. Bobby says Trump could take a thumbtack and put launch codes up on it in his living room and get away with it. Nothing is going to happen to Trump. Well, of course not. I mean, same way with Clinton. Clinton could do the same thing. Clinton did do the same thing. I mean, she had it on her BlackBerry and she crushed it so we couldn't see it. She deleted 30,000 of her emails so we couldn't see them. She didn't get in no trouble, so I wouldn't expect Trump to get in any trouble. The only thing that makes me wonder if they're going to nail Trump is because there's a lot of people on both sides don't like him. But anyway, so politicians are cloaked in Teflon. So Dean Richter, good morning. 64, he says, in Bowling Green, Ohio. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're doing well. What else? I haven't heard anyone say anything that was real offensive here. Outside of John Ford, nah, me neither. Richard Todd says, Bobby, having your home rated by multi-jurisdictional federal agencies in which have been in direct contact with since leaving office, not to mention again, something has been standard our procedures for president decades running isn't nothing. And that's true. Yeah, I saw where the FBI are saying, they're saying that there's been a lot of more threats and they're worried about a dirty bomb. There's there's a lot of crazy factions out on the right and the left. So you'll hear that kind of rhetoric. There was a comment I wanted to look at and comment on. Yeah, Randall, I covered that. We're already in a mild recession. That's right. That's why I was talking about that. The comment that I wanted to comment on was according to some theories that Trump is saying that these documents were declassified. One thought out there is that he declassified those documents, and then when Biden got back in, he reclassified them. Now, I don't know if that's true or false, but you think about it, that'd be a conundrum, wouldn't it? One president says, I'm going to declassify these, throw them in the box, we'll take them to Mar-a-Lago. And then he gets in and he reclassifies them. So the question will become then, well, do you have to have them in your possession to reclassify them? Or did Trump necessarily break the law under them circumstances? To Bobby's point, we don't know. It's all speculation. We don't know. We're all sitting here. This is what we do. This is we've been trained to do this way by society. The last thing we're going to do is not comment on it and sit back and wait till they sort it all out. We're not. Can you imagine that when Hillary's the Benghazi situation went down? Do you really think we're going to keep our mouths shut? Did they keep their mouths shut when the Watergate scandal went down in the Nixon presidency? No. Did we keep our mouths shut during the Monica Lewinsky stuff? No. We just wouldn't. This is what we do. If we didn't do this, we wouldn't have talk shows. We just wouldn't. Bobby says, what does UCMJ say about the disposition of top secret material? I have no idea. What's the UCMJ? Uniform Code of Military Justice? Is that it? I don't know. I don't know what it says. But if it's top secret and it's then declassified, is it still top secret or is it just a little bit top secret? I don't know. The whole question is should he have had the documents? And if the answer to that question is no, he shouldn't have had them. Well, the second part is, well, what were the documents? And then it's kind of like you're not supposed to have drugs in your car. It's not that simple, right? Because if you've got a little bit, they may say, ain't big deal, pay a fine, move on. If you got a lot, you get the rest of your life in jail. So I don't know. They never called it the Espionage Act. Hasn't been used with the others. I don't, that must have been, well, yeah, that was a while ago. So I don't know. I don't know what I was talking about when you text me that. So forgive me. So I don't know. Bobby says, because he was not supposed to take it home in the first place. How do you know that, Bobby? We don't know what it was. This is all we know. right now. Okay, I'm forgiven, Greg says. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what we were talking about. My brain zips ahead, and I can't. My short-term memory sucks on this show live. I can promise you that. But we don't know what was in it. We don't know if he was supposed to take it or he wasn't supposed. That's what they're trying to figure out. We don't know. This is, to me, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. This is it in a nutshell. Somebody saw something marked top secret among those boxes. That's it. That's all we know. As far as what led up to the events, that's it. That's all. Now, once we serve the search warrant, we now know that there's 11 documents that's in question, according to the search warrant. That's all we know. I'm about to go into ignore politics mode and get into football and other things. Well, it's going to be hard to do with the election coming up November, but good luck, Kevin. The military is commanded by civilian executive authority. Okay, so that must have been the Uniform Code of Military Justice. That's what, and that wouldn't apply to the president because he is not in the military. He is the commander in chief, but as T-Rex points out, that's through the civilian executive authority. Aaron says, I think it's time to raise the flag of battle instead of running our soup coolers about all the BS that has been done to us. Yeah, good luck with that, Aaron. That ain't going to work. It's all about control, Ronnie says. Yep. It is a waste of time in ways, but I mean, this is what we do. Again, we're speculating here. I mean, it's okay for you, Bobby. What, through the tone of some of your comments, it sounds like you think Trump's guilty. Well, that's speculation, right? It's okay if you speculate that you think he done something he shouldn't have done. He may have, but that's speculation, right? So I guess it's like that's my point right there. But he has no idea if he's guilty. Me neither. It's pure speculation right here. But you got a lot of people out there on both sides. You got people out there that says he ain't done nothing wrong, but why are they getting on him? He ain't done nothing wrong. They have no clue. And then you got people we need to nail him to the wall. He's a criminal. You don't know that. We don't freaking know. My official prediction is that nothing's going to happen to the man. I don't know what that looks like. I also believe that I could be wrong. I don't know. John Schaffer says, for me, other things would be pursuing the majestic white-tailed deer. I didn't say you said he was guilty, Bobby. I didn't say you said that. I said that your comments seem to indicate that if you were to bet one way or the other, you believe he's guilty. That don't mean he's going to be found guilty. You clearly said that he could pin nuclear codes to the wall, would never be prosecuted or convicted. I'm not saying when you say guilty that he's going to be convicted of being guilty. I just simply say that you seem to think he did something wrong in what you're saying. And the truth is you don't know no more than anybody else knows that he didn't. That's all I'm saying. John Schaffer's comment about the majestic white-tailed deer, I don't know where it fits in to our narrative, but I'm going to send you something for your viewing pleasure, John, that's lurking behind my house. Keep that in confidence. 229-469-1417. Now, see, Sandy says planting propaganda in the minds of people. We don't know that because here's the thing. He could be guilty. He could be guilty. If he's guilty, it ain't propaganda, right? Could it be that the Department of, this is something that this audience is, this is going to go over like a turd in a punch bowl to you guys. Could it be that the DOJ under Merrick Garland has the audacity to simply be looking into something that was reported to them to make sure there ain't nothing bad going on? No, that ain't possible, is it? Because somebody's got to be out for somebody. Nobody can do their job. They got to pick a side. Do y'all realize what we have devolved into in this country? Don't matter who's in power no more. Nobody believes a damn thing, and everything's going to be used to promote one of the shoots. You got to go in one or the other. You're not allowed to stay out. You're not allowed to stay out. (229-469-1417). The media is always planning propaganda. Yeah, they have to. Choose, Sandy, R or D. Got to go one or the other. You've chosen R. Abraham's back on here. I think he's from YouTube or somewhere. I don't know. They need some help. They still got him captive. Send check. Just sign the bottom of it. Send it over there to Abraham. He'll fill it out and cash it. Don't worry about that. Renee says, watch the January 6th video I posted this on this Facebook page. It's eye-opening. I'll check it out if I get a chance. I can't watch it, obviously, while I'm here. But 229-469-1417. Brittany Griner is appealing her 9-year sentence on drug charges in Russia. Senator Rand Paul, COVID-19 gain-of-function research too dangerous for Fauci to work with China. Wall Street returns to Russian bond trading months after Moscow sanctions. Who couldn't see that coming? There's no principles, no morals when it comes to money and making it. Several Wall Street banks have started to offer to facilitate trades in Russian debt, allowing investors to get rid of assets viewed as toxic in the West, according to bank documents seen by Reuters. In June, the Treasury Department banned U.S. investors from buying any Russian securities as part of economic sanctions levied against Moscow. This ban prompted most U.S. and European banks to pull back from the market after the Treasury released guidelines in July, allowing U.S. holders to wind down their positions. The largest Wall Street banks have returned to the market for Russian government and corporate bonds. Police Department defends Kyle Rittenhouse selfie after backlash. That's stupid. I don't know why. Why would there be any backlash? Honestly, we know why. Trust me, if I see Kyle Rittenhouse at the gas pump, I'm going to do my best to interview him, and I'm going to get a selfie in the whole 9 yards. Elon Musk, he's revealed that there's been 3 million Teslas sold. I see more and more of them all the time. Walmart, Home Depot earnings, retail sales, existing home sales top the week ahead. We'll be seeing some numbers come out. I'm actually looking forward to seeing the Walmart numbers because they've been laying off the corporate types, and they would only do that if their prices were falling or they were anticipated maybe heading off at the pass. But I'm mildly interested in seeing what those are. The reason he will never be prosecuted is because of the information he has. Trump has the goods on a lot of high-profile people, and he does not give a damn about the rules these folks have always played by. If he thinks he is going to jail, he will disclose everything and doesn't give a damn how it hurts the country he says he loves. Now, see, that is That's T-Rex's opinion. Now he states it as fact. Of course, it is opinion. We don't know if he's got anything on anybody. Speculation is that he has. My speculation is that they all got something on each other, and it's just you know, there's a line there that they don't cross. That good old boy network we've all heard of. We've all heard the stories for decades about how the politicians, they go out there and they fight and they demean each other and they go at it. And then when the gavel hits and the session's dismissed, they all go down to the local bar, pour their 2-finger scotch drinks and light up their fat cigar. And they talk about how much money they got, their vacations, their girlfriends that their wives don't know about. We all know. It seems to have risen to a new level beginning with Obama. Absolute polarization occurred when Obama got elected, carried through into the Trump presidency, and it has carried into and escalated even more during the Biden administration. So that's just where we're at, and I don't know how to get out of it. I've got $100 that says Trump never does time. I would not bet against that. The only thing I'd say is if I had 1,000, I'd bet that he won't neither. I agree with you. Aaron says the only people who can fix this are we, the people, and we can't fix it at the ballot box because politicians are not running anything. Politicians are not running anything. I don't know what he means by that. That is why we, the people, are going to have to quit talking and put some actions to our words. One person can't do it. Nobody wants to stand with those who are willing to stand up and do what is necessary. It's because that cannot be done. It just can't. I'm sorry. I mean, it can't. We are outgunned, outpowered, outmanned. I mean, that's not an option. It's just not. I'm sorry. In the greatest of circumstances, it's just not. Good morning, caller. You're on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind?
Hey, good morning, sir.
What's up, B?
Hey, you were awful quiet on my end through my phone. So I don't know if your microphone's down low or what.
That's no different than it always is. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll just hold my hand up to my head and I can hear a little bit. I'll be brief because I know you got to step
hold on. Now, you about to blow my head off. You're so loud, so I don't know what's going on. That must be something on your phone because it's piercing my ears, which I can turn it down. So don't worry.
Bear with me just a half second.
You sounded good then.
How about now?
You sound much better now.
More gooder? Yeah.
Yep.
I had cupped my Bluetooth, so I reckon that's what was going on.
I got you. You sound good now.
Okay. I'll say this because I know you got to go to a coffee break here in a few, but not putting words into Aaron's mouth, but I think what he's referring to is politicians ain't running this country, so don't matter who you vote out, there's going to be somebody else that's on the payroll or somebody above them.
Yeah, politicians are the puppets. Yeah, they are running the country, but they're running it on behalf of the big corporations. Let's just be honest. That's what make it. If anybody thinks that that's not right, they're just morons. The right is controlled by their brand of corporations. The left is controlled by their brand of corporations. It's just that simple. I mean, the big battery corporations, they donate to left-leaning politicians. Big oil donates to right. That's just a couple. Some of these big companies that are in retail, they donate to both. So they hedge their bet. The NRA, they pick a side. The Brady people, they pick a side. We all know what sides they're picking. George Soros picks a side. Sheldon Adelson picks a side. You know what I mean? And it's all controlled by power and money. And we don't control it. Now, we do control it with our vote. The problem that we control who's elected by our vote. We don't control our choice anymore. That's the problem. We have a choice between really two candidates. We are in a duopoly, a Republican versus a Democrat. And we hadn't never had a whole lot of say. We think we have, but we haven't. In who gets put there. You could argue that Trump, maybe. I would disagree with that. We don't have a system that lends itself to a true choice of the people. And as long as that's in place and as long as we keep participating in it, it's not going to change. And I'm not saying we have to participate in it. What's the alternative? Back out and just they're going to control it one way or the other. So what the hell do we do? I don't know the answer to that. I just don't.
I don't either. And we're going to sit back and watch it all them implode because that's what's going to take place.
Yep.
The thing with Trump, and this is just my opinion, I value it highly. And the thing with Trump was it got everybody sideways, especially on the left and the rhinos is to start with, they didn't, when he first got in or first ran, he ain't got a snowball chance in hell. But then when he started gaining speed and gaining momentum with the people of this country, they're like, okay, we got a renegade we can't control. Now what? Mm-hmm. We got to pull every string. We got to do everything that we can to discredit him as a president once he was elected. Then once he was elected, we got to do everything to keep him from getting reelected. Mm-hmm. And that's fact. Mm-hmm. That is what everybody's game plan is.
Yep.
And I hope and pray there is somebody else that comes up on the ticket for 2024. But if there is not, and he is on the ticket against either whoever's going to go, I don't think Joe Biden will make it that far. Physically, I don't think he's capable.
Yeah, I don't know.
He might not make it to the end of the first presidency, his first term.
Many think that. Many think that.
I'm just saying. I mean, hey, look here. I know you see gaffes, and I do too on things that's on all kind of social media. A lot manipulated. Now, yes, again, it is put in sequences that make it look funny as all get it. Mm-hmm. If he turns around, he shakes his hand, he shakes another guy's hand, and then two other people, and then Biden sticks his back out like he forgot he even shook my hand.
Yeah, all those clips and stuff like that, they were, they did the same thing to Trump. That's just all part of that game. They edit these clips, make them look stupid, make them look reckless, make them look old, feeble, whatever they can do to throw shade on them. That's what they do. And that's just part of it. It's sad, but that's just part of it. Now, as far as Joe Biden's health, again, this is one of the things we speculate at. I get it all the time. Comments from people that they're you would think I'm talking to a Harvard physicist or physician, and they don't know. We don't know. I see times on video myself. I don't pay a lot of attention to them videos, and I don't watch them. I'll just be blunt with you. I get them. They're sent to me all the time, and I just don't watch them. What I do is watch an actual live press conference from time to time. And sometimes I've noticed that, man, he looks sharp. He looks sharp as a tack. Looks good. Everything's fine. And then other times he's real down, like he don't have energy, like it's an effort, like he don't feel good or something like that.
Yeah,
those are the things.
B12, B6 shots run out.
No, that's speculation too. I don't know if he's on B6, B12. I don't know. But I can tell, whatever, I can tell a difference. Now, what I don't know how healthy or unhealthy Joe Biden is. I just don't. My gut tells me simply that he's getting old and that I think he's just simply too old to run again in 2024. That's my gut. Again, I'm not a physician. I haven't evaluated him. I do not know. I'm not basing it on some mashup video of missteps that the man's had where he trips on some steps or something. I remember a video of Trump tripping, going down a walkway. I don't know if you remember that. And then they plastered it all over the internet saying he's getting old. He can't do this no more. Shit, I busted my ass this weekend walking around my pond, B. You know what I mean? If somebody would have that on video, the beach. Yeah, does that mean we're old and feeble? Yeah, probably.
No, somebody dug a damn hole and didn't fill it back in. I couldn't see it.
That's right. That's exactly
and I'm
right.
toting an armload of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we all speculate we all have opinions and we all have elbows.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, I'll just say this real quick. Yeah, I probably like a weeble wobble. I pop right back up, you know.
hopefully you'll keep bouncing back up.
Or no, yeah, I will. And I hope I will too. But no, really, what I did, I stepped down in this hole, and when I went to pick my foot up, my foot was against the edge of the hole, the side of it, and I couldn't pick it up, and I just poof, fell over.
Yeah.
But I was knee deep in the hole to start with, so I didn't fall far. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So, hey, man, I know it's break time, but I'm going to let somebody else come here and jaw jack. Catch you later.
See you, man. Bye-bye.
See you, bye.
All right, 229-469-1417. I will take that break right now, and I'll be right back in just a little bit. You are listening to Freedom with Steve Nichols.
Well, 1 hour is gone. If you made it this far, you are an official freedom fighter. Don't forget to visit freedomnetworks.com. Click on featured advertisers and support these businesses. They can advertise anywhere. They choose this show as a way to support the effort of preserving and defending freedom. Now, back to the show with Steve.
All right, back on Freedom with Steve Nichols, 469-1417. Doughboys Pizza tonight, 7 p.m. I will be there. Hopefully nothing will break down to where I can't get there. I don't anticipate it happening today, so I should be there just before 7. So y'all come on out. Let's enjoy the fun and the fellowship at Doughboys Pizza. Eat some of that good food. Also, don't forget to bring a little scratch with you if you can. I'm selling Emmy's FFA 50-50 raffle tickets. You can get one ticket for $3, or you can get I think it's 5 for $10. I don't have them sitting in front of me. Y'all bring some money, support her, and support the Cook County FFA, and I'd appreciate that. And I'll return the favor when your kids need something, your grandkids, you let me know, and I'll try my best to participate in that as well. 229-469-1417. Go Seminoles. Jim Parker, Do they still have a football team down there? I'm teasing, Kenneth. I'm teasing. I love the Seminoles too, just not as much as the Bulldogs. I fell in. David Flower says, I fell in my backyard several months ago. Said my RN daughter wanted to put me in a nursing home. I'm years from that crap. I hear you, David. No nursing home here. Let's see here. What else? Let me back up here. Mary says they'll continue to prop him up for as long as they can, like Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah, that's a funny movie there. Aaron says, yep, I've been thinking the same thing. How can you talk about freedom and not be willing to defend it, even if it means the ultimate sacrifice for it? That's our problem. We're scared of the consequences. I don't know who you're responding to. How can you talk about freedom and not be willing to defend it? Well, I can tell you this. I get my ass up at 4:45 every day, and I come in there and I defend it hard as I can go. I'll defend it in any way I can. But a suicide mission is not a defense of freedom. And if anybody out there, if there's any, I'm just saying, I don't think these militia groups, I was watching a program last night. About some militia group in Montana, I think it was. If you seriously think you're going to have any impact whatsoever, going to the store, buying you up a bunch of 223, 5.56 ammunition, multi-round magazines, 30-round magazines for your AR-15, getting a bunch of buddies up, and trying to take this country back by force, you're an idiot. I'm just telling you, you just are. You're in la-la land. You might could stave them off in some sort of reactive way, but you're not going to be proactive and overtake this government by force. You ain't going to do it. That ship has sailed. Not our fault. It was the fault of those who come before us who let it get this way. Now we're stuck with it. I'm willing to die for my country. There ain't no question with that. I would consider it an honor to fight for my country. But I'm not going on a suicide mission with nobody, ever. Good morning, caller. You're on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind?
Hey, I don't have long.
Jimmy, I cannot hear you. If you can hear me, I heard just a little bit. You there?
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yep,
I said I don't have long, but this is very important.
Okay.
You want to find?
Can't hear you again, buddy. Hello? Maybe Jimmy can call back. Love to hear from him this morning. 229-469-1417. Whatever's on your mind. Maybe Jimmy can call back. Let's see here. I took an oath to preserve and to protect and defend. As far as I know, I'm still bound by that oath. Is there anything more precious than when your dog gets up and walks and acts like he has not seen you in years? Yeah, that is a good feeling. Another thing Joe has said in his religion in the First Amendment meant different Christian denominations. Could he please provide his sources for that? Boy, John's got a, well, I don't want to say it that way. He's got a, he's fixated. I think he has Joe derangement syndrome. John Quest, the left will burn your cities down with actions while the right sits on their hands bitching about it, leaving a 17-year-old to defend alone. See, that 17-year-old, there's a difference. There's a difference between defending a situation or defending property and taking the government by force. What Kyle Rittenhouse did is not what I'm talking about. Aaron says, exactly, scared to pay the sacrifice for it. Guess that what the founding fathers taught too, and I'm far from an idiot. I didn't call you an idiot. Well, I would say this. I mean, I love you, know you well enough to know I can call you an idiot and you not get that offended about it. But I didn't call you an idiot because I assume you realize that we don't have enough force to overthrow the government. Now, if you think that, I don't know, but we don't. We just don't. We do have enough force to commit actions like Kyle Rittenhouse did to stop movement like that. No doubt about it. But we can't take the government back by force. That's not going to happen. It's just not. Now, I don't know what else to say about that. I'm just using logic here. So I don't know. You can try to dissuade me or change my mind at Doughboys Pizza at 7:00 tonight, Aaron. Hope you're there. 229-469-1417. Let's do the weather report really quickly. Let me find it. There it is. Okay. Partly cloudy, high 92, winds light and variable. 4% chance of rain. It ain't going to rain today. That's good. Some clouds, low of 73 tonight. Winds light and variable, 17% chance of rain. That is your RCQ weather report brought to you by Recycling Center of Quitman, located at 900 Boundary Street in Quitman, Georgia. They open 9 o'clock this morning, 229-563-5300 for all your recycling needs. Fish and game forecast. Jimmy's probably, he said, I got out of him that he couldn't talk much. That's about all I could get from him. But he's probably distracted at the fishing hole. And that's probably a good place to be because he's in the excellent range until about 7:30. He's in the excellent range. So, and he's in the good range all the way down to about 8 o'clock. And then if he goes back this evening, about 5:36 p.m., he ought to be in the chips all the way to dark. So that is your plantation real estate weather report. Reed Hall can help you with Plantation Creek Real Estate. He can help you with all your real estate needs, whether it's a recreational tract that you're buying or selling or a home. Give Reed a shot. Also visit his wife's store, Plantation 59, right there by Tractor Supply in Tifton, Georgia, or just go to plantation59.com for all your accessory needs and your clothing needs, and just a very, very cool place. Y'all check it out. I don't know if Discord's frozen on y'all side, but it's frozen on my end. Y'all good on Big B? You still hear me clear on your Discord app? But text me on your phone and let me know if you're on there. Jimmy's mad because he can't get through on his phone because of his Verizon signal. That's very frustrating. He's Discord's loud and clear. He says that's on my end. Okay, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. All right, let's see what else is on here. I won't be at Doughboys tonight. I have company coming over. Okay, 10-4, and we'll talk about it at some point. I hope you enjoy your company. John Quest says we seem to no longer have a constitutional republic. Yeah, that's something I definitely agree with. When asked what we are, Ben Franklin says republic if you can keep it. Only for 246 years later, we the people turn over to pure democracy. When the people fear the government, there's tyranny. When the government fears the people, there's liberty. Thomas Jefferson on how we are fallen from giving me liberty, give me death. The problem, Aaron says, when people have nothing left, what good is freedom? Yeah, we're not there yet, though. Or are you saying we don't have anything left, Aaron? I'm just trying to get in your mind a little bit because we do have freedom left. We do have, freedom of movement. It's restricted freedom, I'd argue. But Aaron says, by the year 2030, you will own nothing and you will own like it. You may be half true, but that second, An American patriot that believes in freedom won't like it. I sure won't, and I know you won't. There's no more indivisible or we the people. I tend to agree with that statement. It don't seem that way. We have the illusion of freedom. Yes, that may be fair. That may be fair. 229-469-1417. What's on your mind? The BBC. Iran puts the blame on Rusty's stabbing on Rusty. Taliban mark first year in power while Afghan crisis deepens. Discord good here, Jimmy says. Okay, appreciate it, Jimmy. Shanghai IKEA shoppers flee COVID lockdown attempt. Ukraine hits Russian Wagner mercenary. Good morning, caller. You're on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind today? Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
how's it? How am I sounding now?
I got you loud and clear now.
Okay, I apologize for that, man. When you live out in the country,
You're cutting in and out again, Jimmy.
okay, yeah. Apparently Verizon's down, Steve. I'll try to get you
Well, you're
later.
good. You're good. You're good. Don't move a muscle right there where you're at. You're good now.
Okay. I was just going to say, we've got to stand up against this perversion of the word militia. The militias that you watch that show about,
Mm-hmm.
unless they're working under the guidance and authority of their local government, they are not a militia.
That's
They're
right.
a militant group.
That's exactly right.
And make that clear. That's very important. The word liberal is lost. We can't give up the word militia to these Bolshevik bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they're trying to do is instill a fear in the society of that concept and,
Mhm.
and put a stigma on it. And we can't allow that to happen because that's part of the backbone of this country is citizen soldiers.
Yeah, that right there, they definitely the program was putting a very negative connotation, and I'm not going to give them the courtesy of talking about it, but yeah, it was not a militia as defined by the Second Amendment or history in general. It's just not. And that but your comment there about a militia having the support of your government, your state government, or your local government, maybe, that's just not going to happen.
Yep. No. If the county of Lowndes, the county government, puts out a call to arms to the citizens for a local or a national emergency tomorrow morning, those of you that show up on the courthouse steps with your rifle are militia.
That's right.
By definition.
Yeah.
All right. If Joe Blow down there calls for you to come help him overthrow the government, you are not a militia. You are a militant group.
Yep.
That's very important to know. I got to go, man.
All right. See you.
See you.
All right, man. All right. There you go with that. If the question is, would I answer the call? The answer is easy. Yes, I would. I think Jimmy put the bow around where the call's got to come from, though. That's my point. 229-469-1417. Braves have won 6 in a row. The next 7 games at home will be tough. 4 with the Mets, 3 with the Astros. Aaron says that's where it's got to start at the local level. Must put the pressure on them to stand up or put their asses out on the friggin' street. Back over to the BBC's. Kenya set to announce presidential election result. Harry and Meghan's visiting somewhere, but who cares about that? Ecuador blast declaration of war by gangs. A lot going down on Tijuana, Mexico. That's not on the BBC, but just hit my brain. A lot of unrest there. The left-leaning news agencies are claiming that things are turning and shifting back. Well, not back towards, but they say the Democrats are looking better after some recent successes. And that's just interesting to me because I guess you got to define it as a political success to pass some sort of left-leaning legislative agenda. But, man, it sure don't seem like a success from where I see it. Good morning, caller. You're on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind today?
Good morning.
What's up, man?
Oh, not much. No, I was just getting a little agitated this morning.
Well, it does.
No,
get,
Jimmy's
it does.
right.
It does
That's
get
what
you.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's where it's got to start. It
Yeah.
can't start just people going out and doing what they want to. That's right.
No,
that's
that's
not
right.
a militia.
That's right.
You know, it's got to start at the local level.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to go in there and make your local politicians stand up to what's going on. Quit giving in to all this government bull crap. And if they don't want to do it, then you throw their asses out on the damn street and say, we'll just form us a new government. And that's what you do. If they don't want to abide by the Constitution and all that and do things their own way, well, you throw their asses out on the street. And if it takes force, do it by force.
Yeah, but I mean, you'll agree with me on this. That's not going to happen. It's just not, you know.
Won't.
And the reason is we don't have the numbers on our side. We just don't. We don't have the numbers on our side.
People.
Yeah, we don't have the numbers on our side. We just don't.
People won't stand up to their local government either, because your local government sticks there. I call them they stick their police force on you, and you know, you see that all the time.
Well, I think it's worse than what you're describing. I think it's far worse. I think it's far worse than that. See, the problem, the conundrum we find ourselves in is we believe we've fallen victim to this. On the local level, you have two choices, a Republican and a Democrat. I won't drag you into this assessment, but I'll put myself there. Historically, I have just gone to the poll, looked at them two choices, and pulled the R. Most of the time, the R has won locally. And then they get in there, nothing changes. So when the next term comes up, he may have some opposition, but it's still an R. I pull the one for that R. That R gets in there, and it's the same old thing too. What do I keep doing? I keep defining that insanity by continuously going in there and pulling that R. No more. We can't. No. Well, it is the same person. It may be, if I did it 5 times for 5 different people, they still got their R. They got an R.
Different skin.
They got an R bomb. And I'm continuously defining insanity. That's what we do. So because we're willing to do that, Aaron, we're not ever going to go in there and throw nobody out on their ass. We're not doing it. We're just going to keep voting. We're going to keep voting the same way we always vote.
You know, I talk the way I talk, but I'm in agreement with you. I know it's not going to happen, but that's what's got to happen.
I know. I got you.
That's the only way. We're not going to vote it out. I've said that because, like I said, it's not your local politicians. It's not your state politicians. It's not your federal. There are other people that are behind this. They're the bureaucrats that's been up there and they know the system, and then they get in there and say, okay, well, we'll do this for you if you'll do this for us. You know, and like you say, corporations, big money, that's what it is. They all get caught up with the money. And that goes for your local politicians. If you're listening, I don't really care. You're caught up on the damn money. You know, you're a slave to the money. And you'll let money talk. And until they quit letting money talk and go in there and live up to what the Constitution says, then it'll never change. The politicians will always be the same.
That we agree on.
They're going to give in to that money. That's why we don't have freedom. It's because of the love and the lust after that money. You know, that's why we're taxed to death. That's why we have to pay to have a fishing license. That's why we have to pay to have a hunting license, and pay to have a permit on your damn property to build anything. You know, why? I want a politician to answer me that. Why?
I'll tell you why.
Anybody that can answer those 3 questions. Why do I need a hunting license? Why do I need a building permit? Why do I need a fishing license? Why do I need to register my boat or anything like that? Pay property taxes and all that. Why do I need to do that? I know it's to fund the government, but there's a limit to how much money you need to get from me.
That's the easy answer right there. It's an easy answer. We got to pay bills. We got to pay the game warden. We got to pay the park to get it cleaned up. We got to mow the grass. We got to do all this thing. That's the reasons. And we get them reasons.
They're trying to legislate morality. And you can't do it.
Here's why it ain't never going to change right here. Jim Parker sums it up. Jim Parker sums it up.
You know, that's why we just keep
No,
getting on
no,
here
here-
and we talk about
here's
freedom,
Jim Parker.
but we don't really put any action to our words.
Jim Parker's
So
statement
we're in the
sums it
same
up
old boat.
perfectly. He says, "Stop pulling R, and Stacey will fix everything." That's the mentality. If you don't pull R, you're going to end up with Stacey Abrams. I say don't
Well, I
pull
tell you
R and
what.
don't pull D. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what we need to do is just everybody instead, just to see how it works out, everybody go pull a D vote. Just go vote Democrat this year and let it go ahead and take effect and see what happens.
They too scared to do that. They more scared
Yeah,
to do
go
that
ahead
than
and
they
do
are to
that.
pick
Go
up a
ahead
gun
just
and
let it
fight.
come on. You know. So, you know, but yeah, all those comments I was making, I was kind of replying to John Quest on there with his, you know, Ben Franklin and all that, and Thomas Jefferson. Yeah. But he's right. He's just like me. He's right. But we ain't going to do that. We're not going to do it, you know, because nobody really wants to defend freedom, truly defend it. We just want to talk about it. And I say we because I do the same thing. So, but anyway,
All right, brother.
the fishing report this weekend wasn't real good.
Wasn't real good.
I was gonna bring T-Rex some fish tonight, but I got company and he ain't gonna be there, and I didn't catch no fish to speak of. So T-Rex ain't gonna get no fish, and I ain't gonna get no pizza.
Got to get it at the fish market or Doughboys. One of the two.
That's right. Fishing, like Bobby May said, good at Captain D's.
All right, man. Appreciate it, Aaron.
Steve, I'll catch you later, buddy.
All right, man. See you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
229-469-1417. Y'all talking about some football and stuff like that. Steve, why haven't you gotten into the controversy at Lowndes High on the football field? I just don't. I just don't. I don't know why. I just don't. So, you know, it's what am I supposed to say about it? I don't know. Don't know a whole lot about it, so I can't talk a whole lot about it. I know what I do know, but I don't know. I mean, y'all calling and talk about it. Or y'all can talk about it on here. I don't know, but it is what it is. Hopefully they'll straighten it out, and they got a season ahead of them, and it starts this Saturday. So Larry can probably tell you more about that. Speaking of Larry, I don't know if he's listening this morning, but Larry, it wouldn't be too bad if you would call in and let's talk about how to get Joe on air, and what to do to make sure you can hear him. He'll be coming on at 9 a.m. Right after I sign off. He'll be coming right on. So we'll make sure that you get the information to get there. Mary says, I understand what you're saying, but that strategy in a general election is suicide when it proved not to work in the primaries. It has to be a movement that starts way before the primaries even. I wouldn't challenge on when it needs to start, but it's got to stop, or the same damn thing is going to keep. This is what's going to happen. I'm telling you, based on the poll I did the other day, and I'll say this, I'm just telling you, when it gets down to pull the lever time, y'all going to vote for Brian Kemp. You're going to do it because you're scared to death of Stacey Abrams. There'll be 4 or 5. Well, according to the poll, there'll be 17 of y'all say, nope, you're wrong. But out of 116 people, I think it was 82 that's going to vote for Kemp, 17 that wasn't, and 17 that was going to vote for Stacey Abrams. I believe those numbers will change. Now, the 17 for Abrams, they'll vote for Abrams. But the 17 claiming they won't vote for Kemp, I'm going to say that 8 of them, maybe 9, they lying. They don't mean to be. They want to be strong. But in the end, the fear will overcome them, and they'll vote for Brian Kemp because they can't stomach the fact that Stacey Abrams may not be or may win. It's the lesser of two evils. And again, I'm not poo-pooing the strategy. I get it. Makes logical sense. It does. I'm not criticizing anybody who takes that stance. I may take it. I don't know. It's just crazy, 229-469-1417. That's the Valdosta transmission hotline. If you have anything going on with your car, transmission wise, if it won't go into R or D or it's slipping, go to Valdosta Transmissions. They're located right there on Ashley Street. If you're heading south on Ashley Street, they'll be on the left. It's important that you get to Valdosta Transmission, because there is a big difference in transmission companies in this town. And Valdosta Transmission is the only one I recommend. Savannah is naming a street after Raphael Warnock, calling him one of the most influential men in Georgia. He's definitely one of the most influential men in Georgia. He's a U.S. senator. John Ossoff is one of the most influential men in the state of Georgia. He's a U.S. senator. Brian Kemp is one of the most influential men in the state of Georgia. He's the governor. James Burchett is one of the most influential men in the state of Georgia. He's a representative, a Georgia state representative. But I get what you're saying, Charles. The question over here on this side is exactly what has he influenced? Well, he sent about $130 billion outside of the state of Georgia. Joe Bakanovic says, I definitely will not be voting for Kemp. Well, some would say, Joe, that's because you're a Florida resident. You can't. Some would say, Joe, that because you're a Florida resident, it don't really make any difference. So come on. Oh, Lordy. 229-469-1417. What are people going to do when the IRS comes to take your money by force if necessary? You're going to hand it to them. What do you think they're hiring 87,000 new IRS agents and arming them? What would happen if we had 87,000 armed, God-loving, freedom-loving patriots stand up? Nothing. 87,000 ain't going to cut it. How you going to all get them into a central location and all that good kind of stuff? Good morning, caller. You're on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind?
Well, I can't vote for Kemp. I live in Florida.
That don't mean nothing. We got dead people voting. We got people from other states voting. That's
only if I'm a Democrat.
Don't let geography. Well, I don't know about that now. We had some Republicans out of the 917 convictions. Some of them were Republicans. So I don't think that would hold you back. But I get your point.
Wait a minute. Are you sure they're Republicans, or were they spies who have been sent into the Republican Party to mess up our primaries?
Couldn't tell you that now. You ready to go this morning?
Yeah, I'm fixing to head out. I got to go to the studio and get it up and running. I'll give you a call before you sign off. But yeah, man, we're ready to go.
Good deal.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna sit here in the studio, make sure that you're up and running. Then I'll get my phone pulled up and put my earpiece in, and I'm gonna do like my listeners. I'm gonna listen to you through my earbud.
Oh, you poor fella. When Steve rolls off and the professional's gone, he's gonna hand the network over to the head insane asylum.
Yeah, you know what the main difference between me and you is, Joe?
What's that? You're a professional?
No, by far. No, that is not it. I can hang up on you, but I can't hang up on me. I'm stuck with me for 3 hours every day, but I can hang up on you.
I don't know. I might find a way to hang up on myself. We could try that.
Well, it may happen on the first day accidentally, but going forward, traditionally it wouldn't happen there. But
we'll get that. The only thing we got to see now is those who know me are going to definitely be tuning into the first show for me to see if I execute any of my equipment live on air.
I hear you. Well, what is
me and technology are not? We don't have the best reputation.
Yeah, me neither. I can get along with you on that. Do you have certain topics you're going to be covering for the day? A little tease on what's in store?
Not today. Today, I want to make sure I can run everything.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah, actually, I do. We will be starting to. Whoever wants to call in or comment, I want to see if I can get a few ideas from the audience of if they would like to see any regular, segments on the show, reoccurring things like, where we read the news or we do the Fallacy Fridays or something where we go over, logic mistakes that they use intentionally to confuse and trick us.
Right.
Things like that. But yeah, I'll be talking to the audience what they'd like to see us do with the show and explaining a little bit about where I'm hoping to go with it. This will be a comedy show for me today, just so that I've entertained folks while I'm learning how to run everything. Try to keep it from being a tragedy. Make it something that you can laugh at instead.
I don't think it'll be a tragedy. Just make sure you try to call back, or before the end of the show. I want to make sure we get your phone number out and that sort of thing, so people know the call-in number. And looking forward to it, Joe.
Yep, we even figured out how to post it up on our screen when we're broadcasting on video. So, I mean, we're actually going to look almost as good as you.
I hear you. That's a high bar. That's a high bar. You aim high, baby. Aim high.
All right. Well, I need about 25 minutes to get to the studio, and then I'll tune back in, and we'll catch up with wherever y'all are at that point. So,
all right. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you, man.
We'll talk to you before we leave.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
229-469-1417. Looking forward to Joe's show. Aaron Spikes, the 87,000 agents are to collect the firearms tax that Biden is going to impose on the American people. Well, I don't think he can unilaterally impose it. Now, he may vote it in through Congress and the Senate, but I don't think that's going to happen this term. And if the House or Senate or both flip, it won't happen for at least 2 years. Now, should the Democrats hold on to the Senate and the House? You may be right. That may be coming. But one thing that shields us is that the rules of Congress or the Senate, when you're dealing with a tax and money, there's a threshold of 60 votes or a majority of votes. 60. I think it's 60 in the Senate. You got to have 60 on board. If they don't have the numbers, then they can't do that. But I believe that's a viable strategy to possibly getting in your door, like Wade says, and taking the guns. Imagine that if an audit is performed and you haven't paid your gun tax, then the next step is for them to come seize your guns. And that's when you'll start seeing some of the stuff hit the fan, because you're going to have a lot of violence when someone tries to come take guns from people who didn't pay a tax on that gun that we've never had passed by the Democrats. Just not going to say it. If you can't pay because you have no money, they just going to shoot you? No. And if you're talking, now this is what it's bad enough that they're going to do this, but if they audit you and they find that you owe this money and you can't pay it back, they'll set you up on a payment plan. If for some reason you fall through, whatever, you can't pay it back, you can't make the payments, they're not just going to shoot you because of it. They're going to convict you of not being able to pay it, possibly, and put you in jail. That would be what they would do. They're expecting, in my opinion, the only reason that I lost my train of thought, honestly, but there's a reason that they're wanting to arm or arm IRS agents. They expect resistance. Now, isn't that logical? So where's the resistance going to come from, and why? Who are they going after that they expect resistance from? Why? they expect resistance from somebody. Who? Anybody got any ideas on that? I'm just going to tell you. They got to know the same thing I know, that overall, 98% of the people ain't going to fight the man. They're just not going to do it. So who's the 2% or the 5% or the 10%? I'm not going to argue with you about the percentage. Who are they scared of? Who? Renee says no reason for them to be armed. They're armed now. Okay. This is another thing. People think that this bill arms the IRS. No, it don't. They're already armed. The bill just armed an additional amount of them. That's it. They're already armed. They've been armed. They were armed when they raided Al Capone. They're armed when they raided people over Prohibition. They're armed when they shut down that dude's manufacturing plant in the 90s. I mean, they went in there armed. They're armed. They're armed already. If they expect resistance, they've already been armed when they expect resistance. But if they're hiring 87,000 additional ones, they're expecting more resistance. Is that not logical? Who is that from? Do y'all have any ideas? Who are they expecting it from? Who are they going after? If they're going after a disproportionate amount of people that make $75,000 or less, what makes them think those people are going to resist them to the point they need to be arming 87 or hiring 87,000 more, making sure that they have more armed people if they need it? Why? What's the reason? Who is it? Yeah, Tony Roberts says my son-in-law's brother is an armed IRS agent and has been for years. That's nothing new. The IRS profiles, they definitely do. Definitely do. I don't know what the 75,000 or more maybe comment is, or 75,000 or less. I mean, the amount is that the disproportionate amount of people they're targeting make $75,000 a year or less. That's the main target of this new Inflation Reduction Act, which is an oxymoron in itself. The fact you're going after back taxes is not necessarily going to be a great de-inflator, in my opinion. (229-469-1417). I'm gonna tell y'all what. Now it's getting to where I want y'all to know that I'm not ignoring y'all. I promise I'm not. But it's getting to the point that it's hard for me to, especially on the fly or on the show, to keep up with all the text messages that I've gotten. And just this morning, and I'm not, listen to me, I'm not complaining. I love it. Y'all keep doing it, because I do go back and I read them, even if I don't respond to them. I read every one of them, I promise, on my text messages, because that's people that have my cell number, and I wouldn't have given them my cell number if I didn't value them or value the opinion or want to hear from them. But the volume of it in real time, and then it just gets away from me. But I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 texts since 12:04 a.m. this morning. If armed IRS comes to my door, I will be calling the police. I'm not letting armed IRS agents into my house. If they have a warrant, you will. If they don't show you a warrant, then I wouldn't let them, and I'd call the sheriff. What the question is on everybody else's mind is this going to be a Gestapo tactic, and they just going to come say, hey, we're the IRS and we need to come in your house. And if you say no, something bad happens. That's the question on everybody's mind. The way it should work is they should have a warrant to come to your property. And if they don't, then they shouldn't be allowed. So in theory, calling the sheriff at that point would be the right move. We just don't know what it looks like, and we're speculating. Government, give me your weak and poor, and we will make them more poor. The Inflation Induction Act, that's pretty good descriptor there. Charles Shepard says, I try and stay positive, but are we at the point of no return? As a nation, is recovery and return of pride in the America a thing of the past? It is depressing. That is why I try and make humorous comments and off the wall posts that has nothing to do with the topics being discussed. That is just the way I roll. Ain't nothing wrong with that. To answer your question that is the question. And I don't know the answer to that. Can we recover from this? We can. It's a possibility, but the percentage of chance to recover from it, in my opinion, weakens day in and day out. Aaron says, I don't care if they have a warrant or not. I'm tired of being controlled. I'll die first. I regret that I have but one life to give in the defense of my country. He's why they feel the need. That's what I was trying to get y'all to see. The government has seen in their calculation that there's more people like Aaron that think that way. And they got to be prepared, right? It's called coming to a head. Maybe that's where we're headed. Bible says, I don't think we recover. That's the question there's, or his answer is deep. I don't think we recover. He's not saying, I don't think we can recover. He's saying that we won't. I'm probably more inclined to agree with him than not inclined. And I hate saying that. I think we can recover. I'm not sure we will in my lifetime. I think the possible recovery comes after the fall. What does the fall look like? There's a lot of people, they've already checked out and given up. And what I mean by checked out and given up is they go into their job, they're working, they're taking the money they're allowed to keep, spending it as they see fit, paying their bills, hopefully having a little bit left over to go do some things like hunt, fish, play golf, keep their kid on the travel ball team. Some are spending all their spare time working for the church, active on Wednesday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, visiting. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like, folks. I don't have a prediction. I just, I have hope. I have hope. I think hope is a big word here. Once you lose hope, then the game changes. It gets tough when we start talking like this. the discussion turns dark. It's scary. I don't know what to tell you to do to keep. I'm gonna be honest here, very raw and very honest. I've always been a guy. I've always been a tough guy. Not believing in. Not believing this. Not. I shouldn't say it like that. Not understanding how people get into severe states of depression. I never allowed myself to go dark, for lack of a better word. For about 50 years of my life, I wasn't no different than nobody else. I endured tragedy, loss, setbacks. I'd get down, but man, I'd get back up. Never gave up. I went in my DNA. I've always been a fighter, and I still am. I get kicked down now, and I fight my way back up. I don't care if it's relationships issues, financial issues. I keep on fighting. I keep pushing. I keep hammering, and I go through depressions. I go through bewilderment. Wondering how, God, why is this happening to me? What do I do? But I always come out the other side. The sun always rises tomorrow. But since I've gotten on a microphone and talked about our country, the founding principles of the country, what it was supposed to be compared to where it is now, falling in love with America all over again because of the beauty of what it was supposed to be. Something I personally, I believe it bordered on perfection. And since I've seen how we've gone awry of that, how we've skewed ourselves into something that the founding fathers wouldn't even recognize today. I can see what despair looks like. True, the possibility of truly giving up. I've seen people give up. I've lost listeners, not because they didn't like my program, but they just gave up. I've gotten half a dozen or more long emails pouring their heart and soul out. And I just read them and I think, man, what a dark, bad place to be. But I see it. I just do. It's pure evil to me. What's creeping into the minds of some people, that it's over. And then they're just going to, it's like almost like a diagnosis of a deadly disease. There's nothing you can do about it. You know what's coming. So your perspective changes and you start doing things differently. Sometimes it's almost sweeter. But I see this. I see the tough battle. I see it. I see it possible. Good morning, caller on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind?
Good morning, sir.
What's up, John? How you doing?
Well, with what you're talking about, I kind of think that might maybe one day kind of be the legacy of Trump. Now, let me tell you what I'm talking about. The office of the presidency it ages people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just think about some of the men that have been president of the United States and how they just aged
Oh yeah.
like before our eyes. And now Donald Trump, I'm not an apologist for the man. I'm just not. But you talking about somebody that had every right to suffer from extreme depression while being the president of the United States. Didn't happen with him.
Mm-hmm.
You look at a picture of Donald Trump when he walked down the stairs at Trump Tower, and a picture of him today, he looks pretty much the same.
That's a good point. He really does.
I think the man relishes a fight.
Well,
and it keeps him young.
Well, what you're talking about is the difference, in my opinion, and that's kind of where I was trying to go. But you just made me think of two words that fit here. One either gets sad or they get mad. I believe that I've always gotten mad. I've not allowed myself to get sad, and I think that's what Trump's done. He's not gotten sad; he's gotten mad. He's mad because now I don't think he and I see eye to eye on how things go, not necessarily, but
I'm just talking about how he was affected, apparently emotionally and outwardly physically. It's just like none of that stuff bothered him because he was just, well, bring it on, boys. Come on.
He gets
see what you got.
He gets mad instead of sad. You don't hear him get in front of a mic and have some sort of a down tone. Not usually. I'm sure there's times out there when he was down where he should be down, like, the death of one of our patriotic service members or something. But in a normal speech or press conference, he was always upbeat. He didn't seem sad. He never seemed drained of energy like our current president does sometimes. He's a different personality and temperament than we've seen in the White House ever.
I think those that really supported him probably could have forgiven him if he showed lack of energy because of all the weight that the media and the Democrats were putting on him with all this fictitious bull crap. But man, he never showed it. He was, if there was ever a president that was on top of his game every day, I think it was Trump.
I don't disagree. I think Trump. I think Ronald Reagan. The same could be said about him. He never.
Reagan.
Always
Reagan
cool.
Physically active, and he didn't age as much. But the presidency might have had some effect on his Alzheimer's coming on.
Well, it could. I mean, I'm no doctor. It could. It may have been just his age. Who knows? I don't know. But I get your point on Trump. And I actually just pulled up. Two pictures. One from 2015 when he pretty much first entered the race, and then a picture of him. Leaving office on, I think this is dated January 19th. Looking at the pictures, and they're not like the same angle and this, that, and the other. You see a slight difference, but not much. Not much at all. And now there's a lot of articles in here. They wear makeup, when they're in front of the camera. What you really need is a picture of him walking on the golf course in 2015 and walking on the golf course in 2022. That'd be the tell all.
And I'm sure it's out there.
Yeah. And his hair is the same color because he probably dyes his hair, which a lot of people do. I don't have no hair to dye, but I know Barack Obama. If you look at a picture of him when he was first elected versus when he left office 8 years later, he had some gray hair. Gray. I mean, gray hair. Yep, that's right. So And I don't know. Maybe that don't have anything to do with the presidency. I don't know, but I do feel like you might be. I think you own to something there. I think there is a difference there, and I could be wrong, but I perceive him to be just a different cat than the traditional guy we see up there. He just seems to be.
Yeah. Well, I think the end of the thing is going back to your discussion on depression. Man, just never give up. Be that frog that's in the mouth of that bird.
It's got him around the neck.
Holding that bird's neck.
That's right.
For his last breath.
That's right. Yeah.
Be that critter.
There you go. Never give up, right?
Never give up.
Yeah. I'm not. I've held it together, and I know most people can't really understand this, man. But I tell you, most people that know me closely, I think like Brian Vincent, my cousin, my guys I went to high school with that know me on a real deep personal level, which there's not a lot. There's a handful. But I believe that their prediction for me that first year I was on, I believe they to a man would say, well, this ain't gonna work. This is not gonna last. They tell you that. They tell you that because of my I get mad, I get hot headed, and I
can't believe you didn't inspire confidence.
I didn't. I do now. I think their opinion has changed now, and they're shocked that I know a lot of people don't think I'm reserved, but trust me, I am. I have to hold back every day, and it's tough. It's tough to do that, but they never thought I'd last this long. Hell, I didn't think I would either. It's just because I don't give up, but I ain't gonna bang my head against the wall neither. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work harder, not smarter. And this is the biggest challenge I've ever undertaken. Is simply trying to find a way to make an impact and be, just keep this fight going from where I sit and not taking it to the street necessarily. So,
yeah. Well, thank you for doing it too, because it makes for great morning listening.
I appreciate it, John. Thank you so much, and hope to have the answer to your question from yesterday sometime today.
Well, thank you. And before I go, I would like to say, go Tigers, go Dogs. It's hard to say this, but go Noles. I don't like Noles, but I love all my Noles friends.
That's right.
But in honor of you, I won't say the other Florida team go.
Thank you, because I ain't wishing them nothing.
I hear you.
All right,
have
man.
a great day.
See you, John. 229-469-1417. Let's hit a quick break. Brian says he resents my comment. I don't know why he resents it. He'll have to explain himself. We'll be right back. You're listening to Freedom with Steve Nichols. It won't take me but a second.
Wide awake now? We're honored and humbled to share this time with you each and every day. Please consider liking, sharing, and spreading the word by telling others to tune in. Send them to freedomnetworks.com and they can choose their favorite way to enjoy the show. For now, back to Freedom with Steve Nichols. Go get them, Steve.
All right. Back on Freedom with Steve Nichols. We appreciate y'all tuning in. For those of y'all don't know, the voiceover guy, people say, who is that guy? That's Pat Hill, the redneck James Earl Jones, we call him. He's a good friend of mine, and he's been doing voiceover work in some capacity for me for a long time. Back when I was doing the hunting shows and stuff like that, he was our voiceover guy, and he's just got a distinct, good, sexy FM voice, and that's who I use. So the comments we just made about the football teams, yeah, they didn't go over too well with some of these Gator fans. One of them says, you do have Florida Gator supporters, but you're making it damn hard to be one. Well, I'm glad I'm having an impact on you soul searching your selection for teams. And if you're making it hard, if I'm making it harder for you to be a Gator fan, then I think I'm doing a good job. Then he says, I have to remember you're a butt-sniffing bulldog and have to give you a pass. Butt-sniffing bulldog. How about that? I got 2 words for you, my man. 2 words. You listening? National champions. National champions. That's just what I'm saying. So if y'all behind us, maybe you the one sniffing the butt. It's all good, man. It's all good. I love all my Gator listeners. I do. I love them all. I just look at them differently. 229-469-1417. All right. What else can we talk about this morning? What else have I covered? Have I covered the price of oil? Let's look at the oil price. Well, let's look at CoinGecko. $24,098 is the price of a Bitcoin right now. Wish I had 5 or 6 of them, or 500 or 600 of them. Be good too. 4% increase over the last 7 days. What else? Price of oil, it's on a 1-day delay on the ticker that I usually get. The price of Brent crude last reported a day ago was $98.30 per barrel. The price of gasoline, furnished by my gasoline guru and diesel guru, David Flowers. Appreciate it, David. Current average price of gas nationwide, $3.956 per gallon. The national average cost of diesel, $5.03 per gallon. Still has a catch back on the diesel side. And that's the problem. The diesel, as I keep saying, the diesel's the one that's the problem. It's great. I'm glad gas is down. It is way down. It's still about 95 cents a gallon higher than it was when Biden took office. I'm not happy with that. I am happier that it's not, still $5 a gallon. And not that it ever got that here, but I recognize that ain't the problem. The gas price isn't the problem. I would rather gas stay where it is now and diesel drop to about $3 a gallon, because that's what's making things tough on us right now. That's what's getting in our pocketbooks and our wallets. And no, Glenn, I don't have a pocketbook. I don't know if everybody understands that or not, but that's what our problem is the price of diesel fuel. It needs to come down. We can argue the reasons it's still high and this, that, and the other, but the fact is it's high. It doesn't, really, do the reasons really matter right now? Y'all don't forget Doughboys Pizza tonight, 7 p.m. Y'all be there. We'll have some fun there. Great food, great pizza. There's something about that cheese. So I hope to see everybody there. Y'all try to get there if you can. Again, it's at 7 p.m. in Adel, Georgia, right there behind it used to be the Liberty gas station across from Jerry Kelly GMC. I think the name's changed now, so forgive me. I don't mean to be giving the old name out. I just can't remember the new one. But Doughboys Pizza is right down the corner of Highway 41 and the road that shoots over to exit 37 that goes to the hospital. So it's right there in that corner And we're there every first and third Monday of the month. And we just get there. We talk about whatever is on everybody's mind, and we just spend some time together, and we have some fun and some fellowship. So come on out. Renee Joan Newford says, he said they ain't coming after me, they're coming after you. Exactly correct. You might hate him, but he sure has been right about a lot of things. Who are y'all talking about? I don't know who you're talking about. Charlie, good morning, sir. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope everything's going well in your new venture. Appreciate you listening in this morning. I know Charlie listens almost every day or every chance he gets. He lives over there in just right around Darien. What's the name of that place? I can't remember. It's the name of that place you live in right there. Can't remember. He's been there for a month of Sundays, but I met Charlie back a long time ago. Let's see. I don't know if he realized. I think we met in about 2000. Is that right? 2000, 2001 maybe. Right along there. My floor covering company, we advertised heavily with his ESPN radio station, and he's a good friend of mine. And I hope you're doing well, brother. Hope everything's cool. And he does a lot of good work over there. And he's got some big things going now. Y'all go to southernpigskin.com if you want to get the latest on a lot of college football. Southernpigskin.com. That's his website. He does a great job there. 229-469-1417. Let's go to the Valdosta Transmission Hotline right now. Good morning, caller. What's on your mind today?
I just wanted to iterate to folks like how deep diesel being high goes. It's not just semi trucks on the road, which is very important because that's a lot of our transportation needs right there between logging and the stuff that goes in the stores and all that. But most trains also run on diesel.
That's true.
So that's true. Where your coal's going. A lot of your lumber, a lot of your natural gas that isn't going through a pipeline, that's going on a train.
Yeah.
Anything coming overseas, which is a lot, if not, no, it's most of your manufacturing stuff coming from overseas comes on ships.
Powered by diesel. Yeah, powered by diesel. That's right.
Like hundreds of thousands of gallons of diesel.
Yeah. Yep.
And I mean, it goes so deep, folks.
Yeah, does a lot of military vehicles also run on diesel? What does a tank run on? Does a tank run on diesel?
Yep.
Yeah. So tanks, Humvees, personnel carriers, all that runs on diesel. So it's just got far-reaching implications. That's for sure.
Yeah. And it's the aircraft fuel's also gone up considerably. The JP8 has gone up considerably.
Yeah, everything's high, man. You just made me think of something. We haven't talked much at all about it on this program, but the flight delays and flight cancellations are having a major impact in our air travel right now.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We're in some perilous times right now. I'd have to put the diesel, to the point of your call, I have to put the diesel being high at the top of that list as a potential economic disasters,
Well, I mean, that's really what's keeping everything together. If you really think about it, I mean, most people, and I can comfortably say most people do not know how to process and obtain their own food without a store.
That is true.
And I mean, it's a good thing to say for our society because, we've moved so far beyond being strictly agricultural. But I mean, any given major box store, your Walmarts, your Costco's, your Sam's Clubs, all that stuff that uses tiny little 8-year-old Chinese hands to, make their money. Every single one of them is going to be bone dry within 1 to 3 days if they don't get restocked consistently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that supply line goes down, whether it's from the ships shipping things overseas to the trains or the trucks coming from the heartland with anything from bread to flour to oil, like cooking oil, to fruit. I mean, sure, there's a lot of locally sourced produce that goes into these stores, but if that supply line goes down, it's over. You've got millions of Americans that aren't going to have a single thing to eat, or any way to get to it, or even the knowledge of how to start growing a garden in their backyard.
Yeah,
that's how bad the diesel crops is.
Yeah, it's big, man. It is really big.
But yeah, that's all I had to say about that. Thanks.
Appreciate it, Jordan. Have a good day, buddy.
Yes, sir. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. 229-469-1417 if you want to get in on the call or give us your opinion about anything. Lots of daylight on those shelves. Bobby says, yeah, I hear that. I think it's dependent on where you're at and where you shop. I don't see it a whole lot because for one thing, I'll be honest with you, I don't go grocery shopping a lot, but I mean, I was in Walmart once this weekend at Adel, and I hit the Dollar General now in Cecil, Georgia a lot because it's just 1 mile from my house and it's just easy. But, I've noticed a few things missing. Not lately though. I believe at Dollar General, I was looking for something. Oh, I know. I was looking to, we had an emergency. We were out of banana peppers, and Charlie loves banana peppers on about anything he makes. So he said, swing in and get some. And they didn't have any. They were out. And I noticed in that section where the pickles and the banana peppers and jalapeno peppers and stuff like that, olives, there were some empty spots there. Bobby says, I shop Norman Drive Walmart every Saturday for groceries. Yeah, and I think that's where I was going next. If you shop in Valdosta at Walmart or Publix or Winn-Dixie, you're going to see more emptiness there because there's so many more people. I mean, I know that Norman Drive Walmart is probably on a Saturday. If you shop there on a Saturday, I bet it's a jungle in there, isn't it? I mean, it is crowded. Looks like the streets of New York City in there. People just shoulder to shoulder. I would imagine. Now, I could be wrong. That might be the best time to go. So enlighten me on that. But Matt Sermon says a lot of farmers buy fertilizer a year in advance, meaning the cost of production is going to be a lot higher next year. The increase this year has mostly been transport. I believe it's going to get bad next year. I just talked to a local farmer on Friday who is going to come in we're probably going to get him in here in October, maybe the 1st of November, but he is going to give, an overall honest, detailed view of exactly what he has went through this year on his farm. Now, he's a big farmer. Between tobacco, peanuts, cotton, soybeans, and corn, he probably, I'm guessing here, but I guarantee you he's farming at least 2,000 acres of land. And we'll find out that too. But he says that the cost increase of fertilizer and fuel, the input cost of his crops, what he's selling them for, this has been a tough one. And that goes to the market. That follows the product to the market. A lot of times it dictates what's it take to get it from the grain elevator to market, or from the packing shed to the market. You know what I'm saying? It's going to hit hard over the next 6 months to the farmers. That's when they're going to realize what kind of year they had. And it's, a lot of these prices for the goods are contracted and locked in. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to that conversation. And he's still getting some tobacco out of the field right now. So he'll be coming in at another day once he gets all that out of there. 229-469-1417. John had made the comment of something. We're always in perilous time when the Democrats are in office. That's his perception, but he's basing that solely on the fact that we've only been on radio when Donald Trump was in office and now Joe Biden was in office. But we've been in perilous times under both Democrats and Republicans. If you look back from Biden to Trump to Obama to Bush, I mean, gas hit very high numbers under Bush there at the tail end of his presidency. Went catastrophically high under Obama. So you've got one Republican with high gas, a Democrat with high gas. Donald Trump enjoyed low gas prices. Joe Biden is enduring high gas prices. If you go back before Bush, Clinton did pretty good with gas prices. So it has nothing to do with Republican or Democrat as far as the analysis of perilous times. I'd argue that we've been in perilous times since 1910, 1915, when Woodrow Wilson started ramming us with it. That's just my opinion on that. Winn-Dixie and Lake Park shelves are almost always full and organized. Yeah, that makes sense. There's not as many people in Lake Park. But that's the Winn-Dixie will have a reopening on the 17th. I didn't know. I don't know. High gas is related to what we eat. Goodness, I don't understand the comment. You'd have to clarify that. High gas, without a doubt, is making us spend more on groceries. And in many cases, many reports saying people are altering what they eat. I know I ain't bought a steak in a while. I'm eating a lot more pork, a lot more chicken. Flatulence. That kind of gas. Okay. High gas is related to what we eat. That's from our resident staff attorney, unpaid position, of course, unless the judgment isn't obtained, which is often the case with him. But Sam says high gas is related to what we eat. I got you. Okay. I had my serious hat on there, and you come in here with all this bull crap. What else we got? 229-469-1417. But good conversation with Sam on Friday. Hopefully we'll get him in here on this Friday live in the studio. He's going to fall into that. I can't let him fall into that comfort zone of just mailing it in like that, calling it in like that. He's got to give a little effort, don't y'all think? Anyway, 229-469-1417. Emails reveal how Leonardo DiCaprio helped funnel cash toward climate nuisance lawsuits nationwide. Now, I don't know nothing about this. I'm just going to read it. It's an opinion piece. It's written by Thomas Catanacci. He says Leonardo DiCaprio's nonprofit foundation awarded grants to a dark money group, which in turn funneled money to a law firm spearheading climate nuisance lawsuits nationwide, according to emails. I'm not going any further with that one because that first line made my head hurt. This just, I'm not saying you shouldn't track it. I'm not saying you shouldn't be interested in it. I'm not saying that anything. I'm just saying I ain't spending my time reading that. That'll make my head hurt, and that's just somebody else can go down that lane if they want to. Somebody made a comment on the nurse that drove into an intersection and killed 6 people. I read that she's had 13 wrecks over the past few years. Not a lot of years, but they seem to indicate that she was having these wrecks after she went through some sort of relationship issue. Sounds like she don't take breakups real well. She ends up crashing. But that's a horrible, horrible situation where loss of life occurred during the traffic accident. That's terrible. Here's a good story, good story. High school football players rushed to save a woman involved in a car crash. A group of Georgia high school football players quickly jumped into action to help save a 50-year-old woman who was involved in the serious crash. Rome High School football players Caesar Parker, Trayvon Adams, Antoine Carey, Messiah Daniels, Tyson Brown, and Alto Moore were just arriving at school on Friday when they witnessed the collision. Smoke was seen pouring out from under the hood, and fluid was pouring onto the intersection. The door of the vehicle was jammed, and the woman was unable to get out. We all knew we had to get her out before something worse happened. As math teacher Louis Goya was calling 911 after seeing the incident himself, the athletes rushed to go help the woman to safety. They literally started using their strength to pry the door open so the lady could be released. After a few seconds of pulling and pushing the door, the boys ended up opening it and helping her get out of the car. She was shaking and still in panic, but our RHS boys gave her comfort and were able to help her. The Rome High School football players really showed up today. They went above and beyond to help this lady without hesitation. The crash involved a small silver car that was hit after another car pulled out in front of it. The crash and rescue was caught on video by cameras at the school. When I saw the video, I was like, oh my gosh, these kids really did run right into danger and have a sensational event where they helped a lady out of a car that could have caught fire. That's what the coach said. That's good stuff. That's a good story and good for those young men taking care of that lady in a time of need. That's good stuff. Actress Anne Hesh passed away. She was taken off life support, I think on Friday. Just terrible tragedy there. And hate it, man. I hate anything like that. China renews military drills around Taiwan amid surprise visit from U.S. lawmakers. Now, I don't know what to say about that. I'd like to know what y'all's opinion is on that. Y'all think that's a little bit much for them to go over there right now? Do you think that given the situation, given the tensions, do you think Taiwan's real happy with our lawmakers going over there after she went? 5 members of Congress went over there. Senator Ed Markey, who's a Democrat from Massachusetts, John Garamendi and Alan Lowenthal, Democrats from California, and Don Bayer, a Democrat from Virginia, and then Amada Raidwagon, Republican from Alaska, maybe, or I don't know. Where's AS at? Arkansas? Is that the Arkansas abbreviation? I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I really don't. John Ford says, hey, Steve, what happened with the people you know that's in the gas business said in August gas was going to get up to $6? Guess your people was wrong again. Yeah, I mean, they probably were. I mean, obviously they were. I don't know what your point was at. People are wrong all the time. I was wrong. And I'm glad I was. I thought it was headed to $6. That's what all the indicators said, but then we didn't factor in Biden dumping all that, oil out of the strategic reserve. We didn't know the effects of the supply and demand. We assumed demand would stay high, but it went lower. So that caused it to go down. Most experts agree that the price of oil per barrel will probably shoot back up in November. So we'll see. But trust me, I don't care who's in the office, whether it's Republicans or Democrats. I hope the gas continues to fall. I don't want to be right. And I'm glad I was wrong there. So I don't understand what that was. 229-469-1417. Bobby May says, what? Someone agreed with me? Holy crap. I've agreed with you a lot of times, buddy. I don't know what they agreed with you on, but good. I felt good when Trump was our president. My money was good. Wasn't scared of wars. Patriotism was high. Now I'm concerned with it all. It's a matter of perspective. I felt safe. I wasn't overly concerned about war. As far as patriotism seeming high, it has seemed high on the right of the line for, years. Seems like honestly, I would argue that under Biden, patriotism on the right's higher than it's ever been. It's higher now than it was under Trump, because everybody on the right wants Biden gone. So I could make that argument, but who knows? I don't know. Did I feel better with Trump in the White House rather than Biden? The answer to that is yes. And I mean, I say that very strongly. Larry Godwins has popped into the studio. And I don't know if you want to jump on, Larry, or you just want to answer these questions on the fly. That's up to you. But I want to make sure everybody knows how to get Joe at 9:00. So I guess the number one question is, number one comment would be, they can always go to freedomnetworks.com at 9:00 and get him. They can also go to the Freedom with Steve Nichols page. Okay. Well, get over there then. Let's get you on. And then I'll let Larry explain it to you. How do I do this? I got to click that. Setting. Oh, camera. Wait, settings. Share. Extra camera.
There we go.
Share.
You getting it?
Boom. Add to stream. There he is. And
there he is.
All his radiant beauty. Your mic's on and everything. I can see you good. So talk right into that mic. I think I got it set okay. But I'll turn it over to you. Joe's coming on at 9:00. Tell me all the ways as a viewer or listener I can get to Joe's show.
Yeah. So just basically tune in the way they tune in now. They can go to freedomnetworks.com, the website, and you'll see a window that just shows up, just goes live when he is live. They can go to the Freedom with Steve Nichols Facebook page,
okay,
the Freedom Networks Facebook page, and the Freedom Networks YouTube channel.
Okay. So the only thing that changes, the only thing they can't do to get Joe's show would be on the Discord app.
Correct. That's coming.
Yeah.
But we just didn't have enough time to put that in place.
Okay. 10-4. So y'all don't have to do a whole lot different. Now, when I go off and they're on my Facebook page, right when I go off, do they need to log out and log back in, or will
there's no logging out for their part, but there is going to be an interruption of service.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. So you'll go off at 9 and Joe will probably start at 9:05.
Okay.
That'll give the viewers a chance to go make a phone call to a client, go to the bathroom, get some coffee, whatever.
Gotcha. So they could basically, if they're on their laptop at home, for instance, just hypothetically, if they just leave everything on like it is and they go to the bathroom, walk outside, walk the dog, and come back in, Joe will probably be on by the time they get back.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Now, one of the cool things, if they can't watch Joe live for whatever reason, because some people have work to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking for other content later on during the day, they can always go back to our website later on during the day and click on that archived area, that library, if you will.
Sure.
And then tune in that way on demand.
10-4. That's good. So I'm looking forward to that. We got him all set up. There may be some bumps and road bumps and all that, but we'll get through it. And then once we're confident and, he's up and running, which won't take, but a couple of days, and we're going to start really asking people to like, share, comment, just like you do with me. And let's grow this audience. Since you are here and you are the voice of the Viking Nation that's heard right here on Freedom Networks and Freedom with Steve Nichols on Thursday nights at 7 p.m.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about that. But let's take this call because I think it's Joe. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
And then we'll get back on the football talk. Good morning, Joe. What's on your mind, brother?
Well, I got everything for the broadcast on my side ready to go. I'll create the broadcast here in a few minutes. But, excuse me, folks, Facebook's not cooperating with me, so I may not be able to see anybody's comments today.
Gotcha.
Okay, but
they're not liking my login here at the studio. So
okay, but you'll be able to broadcast on Facebook.
Oh, I'll be able to broadcast and I'll be able to take calls. I just might not be able to see any comments on Facebook.
Okay, I got you. Just as a quick reminder, when you're on that studio screen, if you just got to make sure you click up there where once the broadcast starts, if you look up at the upper right, you'll see a thing that says comments, and you click that thing, and the comments should show up.
Yeah.
So
Joe, when I get off this segment with Steve, I'll give you a call. We'll run through some stuff.
All right, no problem.
Okay.
But I was a Marine and I'm Polish, and Kyle left me notes that were written for a Polish Marine. So if I mess these up,
I got you.
Well,
yeah, we're in trouble.
You know what it means when something goes south. You know what it means to adapt, improvise, and overcome, right?
That's right.
Oh yeah, but usually for me that meant blow something up.
Yeah.
Don't blow stuff up.
Yeah, don't blow this up.
All right, man. Let me go. Somebody's calling in. It might be one of y'all.
All right,
I'll talk
see
to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Joe's going to do fine. Like I said, y'all be patient with him, just like you were me. This should be less of a disaster than when I first started in radio. So we hope he'll get off to a good thing. I'm sure Larry will get him walk through it.
Yes, I was talking to Joe and his son Kyle last night. We were walking through some stuff over the phone, and Kyle says, "Man, y'all just have to forgive us up front because we're going to stumble and bumble and do some bad things on the way through getting good at this." And I said, "Dude, have you watched the show from the very beginning? That's all we did was stumble and bumble through this, and we finally got it to the point where everything is running pretty smoothly. Now we'll get you to that point." But in order to grow, you got to go through that fire first.
You do. It's a learning curve, but it's this type. Jimmy said, "I thought Polish ended in ski."
I have no idea. I'm not touching that.
Like Lewinsky and Babaluski and whatever. Larry, like I said, he's the voice of the Viking Nation. High school football kicks off officially this Saturday night, right?
Yeah, Saturday night. Normally it's a Friday kickoff, but we're doing something a little bit different this year. We're doing a kickoff classic where it's a multiple game setup. Excuse me. That's going to be at Martin Stadium on Saturday, starting at 5:00. So there's two games. The 5:00 game is Colquitt County versus Deerfield Beach, and the nightcap starting at 8, depending on how quickly the first game gets over, somewhere between 8 and 8:30. Our Lowndes Vikings plays, and we're going to be taking on a pretty good team in American Heritage.
Yeah,
so that's going to be fun. Nationally ranked, probably
yeah.
I think coming in at number 15 to start the preseason national rankings.
Yeah, might as well go ahead and pick on the giant in the room at first game out of the gate, right?
So I was talking to someone last night. I know. I was talking to Joe Mamone from Prep Gridiron Logistics, and he's the guy that sets up all these national marquee games with his company. And we were going through the lineup, and I said, "Joe, tell me what is so special about this American Heritage team?" And he paused. He says, "Are you kidding?" I said, "Well, tell me about it." He said he started rattling off the 5 and 4 stars, and they've got a 5-star, 3 or 4 4-stars, a 3-star, and all of these other stars. Like, holy moly! But here's what I'm hoping will happen. They're going to have a lot of firepower, especially their offensive side of the ball. Now, they're only bringing about 40 players. Okay, so we've seen this show before.
Yeah.
A lot of talented teams coming to Martin Stadium, and they will get off to a quick start. We hope they don't get off to too quick of a start.
Right.
So if we can keep that game close within 10 points or so going into the fourth quarter, I think our depth, the heat, and the humidity is going to kick in. They're going to get spaghetti legs, I'm hoping. Yeah. And that's when we start to shine. I'm hoping that we keep it close going into the fourth quarter.
I agree with that. I agree with that assessment. And I can tell you this right here. That 5:00 game.
That's going to be hot.
That's going to be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're going to. I used to play football, and I know it really wasn't any harder now, or isn't any harder than it was then, but I don't know how I survived it. And I don't know how they survive it, but I guess technology with the cooling fans and stuff helped. But you're right. I mean, 40 players is not a lot when you think that there's basically 22 starters, 11 on offense, 11 on defense. You're not going to rotate in a whole lot, I mean, we're going to be a lot deeper. We'll have about 105, 110 kids on the sideline probably. That's a big difference. And you're right. If we can hold them close, we'll be good. You know me, I'm just kind of jump right into fire. We got some challenges over there at Lowndes.
We do.
There's been some uproar, not to get into the guts of it, but a lot of people didn't know what I was talking about earlier, but we've had some players quit. That's in some key positions. Right. It's not to call any names and get into the reasons and the speculation of why, but when you have someone quit at this stage of the game, that's something we got to talk about. You know what I mean? We got to replace this. We always say next man up. Yeah, that sounds sexy and everything, but it's a challenge.
Yeah. So last Thursday night, it was the relaunch of the Viking Nation Live on Thursday nights, because during the off season, we've been doing we've been focused primarily on our Tuesday night show, which is the pregame blitz, and that covers all the area region teams. And we'll get into college football, that kind of stuff. So this previous Thursday night, we relaunched the Viking Nation Live on Thursday night, and we had a tremendous audience. 1,500 people watched that show.
That's right.
And that was a great audience for the first night back. And I want to actually thank our audience, the morning audience, because ever since we started, I guess, broadcasting or streaming on our sister channels with Freedom with Steve Nichols and the Freedom Networks channel, that kind of stuff, we've seen a noticeable increase in our football show as well. So thank you so much for tuning in to our shows. But if you missed that show Thursday night, you can go back and watch the archived edition to get all the details, what we talked about, because it's no secret by now, Steve, we had 5 players to quit the team last week, including our projected starting quarterback.
Right.
Now, on air, I'm not going to get into all the reasons why. I suspect that we know the reasons why, but I'm not going to get into that. What I'm more interested in is how the team responds and how they move forward.
That's right.
We're going to see early on a lot of character come out, whether good or bad. A lot of character come out, and I think it's going to lean heavily on the good side. I think we're going to see circling of the wagons. We're going to see a rally around the coaching staff and the players that remain, because we do have still a lot of talent on that team. And, when something like this, when adversity hits a team, when adversity hits a country or an organization or a family, you find out very, very quickly how people are going to react to it, whether good or bad. And I'm suspecting Lowndes is going to do what Lowndes does, and we're going to come together as a team and move forward full steam ahead.
Yeah, it's a precarious situation, if you ask, or maybe that's not the right word. It's an interesting, fascinating, worrisome time, because you got that going on, and the 15th ranked team in the nation coming to the first game. We've only practiced, correct me if I'm wrong now, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7. We won't have but about 7 or 8 practices in when we hit the field Saturday night against the 15th ranked team with the 5 stars, the 4 stars. If this is an important game, and I can't overemphasize that, I think it is extremely important that we keep that game close and that we remain competitive and that we come out of that game Saturday night. It'd be great to win it.
Yeah.
But if we can just show up and we put up a struggle and they don't come in here and run roughshod of us, we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But if we get blown off that field Saturday night, that ain't going to be good.
People, I think you're alluding to the old adage that winning takes care of everything.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And when there are losses, that's when people start to grumble and question and things like that. So I'm hoping that people's expectations are, I guess, lack of a better word,
tempered.
It makes sense, right? That it's not overly exaggerated or things like that. I know we're Lowndes, but there are other really good teams out there.
Sure.
What I tell our fans, I've been warning's really not a good word. I've been throwing caution out there to our fan base since April, May, that time frame when the team first hit the field. And it dawned on me, it's like, holy moly, we've lost Ja'Cory Brown, who's been there, 1,000 years, it seems like. He was the heart and soul of the team. We could always, when things went south, we could always rely on Ja'Cory Brown.
I don't know the stats, but he was 70-80% of the offense, or at least at my perspective he was. So.
He is arguably it's debatable, but he is arguably the best quarterback to go through Lowndes. Now, some people would argue Michael Barrett.
Sure.
Some people would argue Barrett Wilkes and all these, Card Franklin, all these, but he's in the conversation. He was that important to the team.
Absolutely.
So he's graduated. He's doing his thing down at the University of Miami now. And at the same time, we graduated a ton of great talent on the offensive side that complemented him well, like Chase Belcher, great running back from last year. Graduated, I think, 3 out of 5 offensive linemen, tight end, running backs, other backup run. So, and then we've also graduated some defensive backs as well. And so we've got a very young squad in experience, right? So when you couple that with a virtually brand new coaching staff, you got a brand new head coach, new coordinators on offense and defense. You've basically got 5 returning assistant coaches to the team. Everybody else is a brand new face. When you have all these things put together, that's a lot of youth and inexperience on that side that's trying to mesh. And when you try to mesh all those new things together, sometimes tempers get the better of us.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so people don't quite understand how to take direction from a new regime, that kind of stuff. And so I think all that has come to a head. And what's really the straw that broke the camel's back was losing to Tift County in the scrimmage game.
That did not help.
That did not help. And that's when I think, in my opinion, really everything started to come out. It's like, holy moly, what in the world's going on? But I think they've got everything calmed down now. People are circling the wagons. The team's rallying together, as they have evidenced by the Meet the Vikings event this past Friday night in the gymnasium. And everybody showed up. Everybody's having a good time. It seems like the players are 100% committed. We'll see. That's to be determined. So it's going to be interesting to see that right now they're rallying around the troops. But when adversity hits in that game against American Heritage, and if we find ourselves down 10, 14 points going to the fourth quarter, how is that team going to rally?
I'm going to be looking at body language, attitudes, and stuff like that. You can get beat by 35 points.
Yeah.
But if you don't see the team give up, you don't see the attitudes, then it ain't that bad.
Yep.
But if you get down 14-20 and you start seeing helmets being slung, heads being hung, and that's when it becomes a little bit more serious. You mentioned the dynamic of kids not being able to take direction sometimes as they should.
Yeah.
Goes both ways.
That's right.
The coaches are new. They come in here and they come from a team, elsewhere.
Right.
They've got to learn this team. This team was shaped and influenced by the predecessor.
That's right.
So his attitude and how he treated players is probably different than the new coaches did. And there's an adjustment period there. So you've got to, man, it's up to both to give and take and learn and be patient with each other.
Right.
And I mean, it's just new.
Yeah.
It's just new. Let's not forget the normal change of coaches did not occur in this situation. The timing was not as it used to be. So there's not been a lot of time that these players could spend with the new coaching staff, and they mesh that together. So they're behind the 8 ball there. Yeah. They're having to come and learn that. So this is going to be an interesting season because of the adversity. Where will we be at the end? I can't wait to see,
Up until this year, any other year prior to this one, if you had asked me what was my take on the team, how I would usually come fairly close at what I thought was going to happen and what actually happened, how many rounds of the playoffs we're going to get to. But Steve, this is the first year since I've been following this team that I can't answer that with confidence, just because we have so many new pieces, so many moving parts to this. This is truly a mystery team right now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Last year, I guessed before the season, I got ridiculed for this too. But before the season, I thought we'd go 10-2.
Yeah,
and of course, a lot of people, the expectations of a fan base, we're gonna win state. We're gonna win state.
Right.
I'm like, I hate to tell y'all, I hate to be a Debbie Downer here, but we ain't never winning state again ever.
Come on,
no,
man.
we're not. No, it's not.
You're talking about because of the talent that's migrating in the Metro Atlanta area.
Yeah, I mean, the deck is stacked against us. I shouldn't say we can't, but man, the odds are just tremendously against us because you got to have that 1 in a million organically grown local athlete combination to be so talented that they can go up to Atlanta in the state championship and beat a team that is just put together. Let's just be honest. So my expectations this year, I'll put it. I think as we sit right now, I think it's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be a tough one, and not so much that this is kind of a praise to the other teams. I think Valdosta's improving. I think Colquitt County they're always in the hunt. Camden County, you'll probably know more about them than I do, but I think we're looking at a third place finish in the region.
Ooh,
that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm wrong, but
I don't know if that's acceptable to our fan base.
Well, no, I agree with that, but
I will tell you this. This is going to sound like me trying to straddle the fence, right? I'm going to give you an election night analyst. If I were coming onto your show and you ask me what's going to happen, I'm going to say, Steve, it's too soon to call. I almost made you spit your drink. It's too early to call. So I don't know, because there's so many factors still that has to play out.
Yeah. Well, it is too early to call. You're 100% right. And my prediction, I mean, I could be right. I could be wrong. I have no idea, because it's too early to tell, but that's just my guess. We got about 8 minutes left. Billy Dean wants to know, what can you tell us about Colquitt County? What's your intel on Colquitt County? What do they look like?
They're loaded.
They're loaded.
They are loaded. Yeah. Now they struggled last year. They took it on the chin last year because they were a young team like we are this year, right? But they had they used that basically down year. And when I say down year, they still had a really good season. They just didn't go very far in the playoffs because I think some of their youth and inexperience showed through, and they had some coaching issues as well. And their coach from last year, the last 3 years, Justin Rogers, has now been moved on and taken over the reins at Thomas County Central. But Colquitt returns their quarterback. They return a whole plethora of skilled players. I mean, their skill players, probably 4 or 5 of those guys, are just as good as any set of skill players in the state of Georgia. They're going to have some youth on the offensive line, but they've got some big guys that had a lot of rotational experience last year that's going to be filling the slot. So I don't think it's going to take very long for those guys to get up to speed. They've got a shutdown defense that's coming back. So they are probably the consensus number 1 pick coming out of Region 178 this year.
How did they look in their spring game?
They look very good.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and the fall scrimmage as well.
Yeah. Errol Fender says we'll finish second in the region. We'll see. I think I want to win it.
Yeah.
But I think second or third.
I've seen projections, and these are just fans like us, but some very knowledgeable fans that I've been talking to, and a couple of guys are actually about 4 or 5 guys are projecting us to battle Richmond Hill for that 4th spot. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think legitimately we're probably battling. There's probably a 60% chance of us battling for the 2nd spot. There is about a 30% chance of us battling if we can mature in a hurry, because we've seen some amazing things from kids, right? They just pick it up. The coaching staff starts to gel. This new offensive system really kicks in. The defense should be a lot better than it was last year. A new defensive scheme with Ashley Anders at the helm of the defensive coordinator spot. If everything, all the pieces fall in place, if we can sneak out of Martin Stadium with a close loss or a win over American Heritage, that could be enough to light the fire and get a lot of momentum behind us. If that's the case, then going into the region schedule, I think we got a really good shot. If we grow during the non-region first half of the season, but if we start to digress in games 3 to 4 because attitudes or tempers are starting to flare and people don't react the way that we want, then it could be a long season. But I think if everything falls into place and the attitudes really start to gel, people start playing well together as a team, because this year it's going to take a true team effort. We just don't have superstars on our team this year. When I say superstar, we got very good players. We just don't have the 4 or 5 stars.
No, I got you. It sounded like what you were trying to say is it's too early to tell.
It's too early to tell. I've got a long way of saying that.
That's right. That's right. But no, I agree. I think your analysis is spot on. I think the first half of this football game Saturday is the part you look at.
Yeah.
You look at how do we compete in the first half. If we are down by 21 at half and we end up losing the game by 7,
yeah,
then that is not real good news to me, because these teams that we're going to play in the region are as deep as we are.
That's right.
And that's not going to bode well. Now, I think it would go a long way to the noggin if they could have a game like that. And I think that the coaching staff can use that to keep them amped up, and I think we'll improve as the year goes by. I don't really expect to give up in this. This is Lowndes High.
That's right.
I don't think you give up. I think there's too much support in the community. They won't let them give up.
Listen,
I hope.
It's not well known, but over the summertime, I spent a lot of time interviewing some prominent head coaches from some really big programs throughout the country. Teams like Mater Dei, St. John Bosco, it's teams like that. Lipscomb Academy, Trent Dilfer's team out of Tennessee. I also interviewed Mike Smith, the head coach of American Heritage, and I was doing some trash talking with him during that interview. And so we were having a good time. We were interviewing, and I said, Coach, really looking forward to you and your squad coming up to Martin Stadium in late August. Take on my Lowndes Vikings. But Coach, I'm going to ask you for a favor. He says, Larry, what's that? I said, well, when my Vikings beat the brakes off your team, I would still like to meet you on the field and just shake your hand and wish you well, safe travels back home. He kind of chuckled, sneered. He says, okay. Yeah. But if we beat the brakes off your team, you got to commit that you'll still shake my hands.
Fair enough. That's a long drive back to carry the ass with you all the way back to where they come from.
That's what I told him off air. I said, Coach, the only difference is I only got to drive 10 minutes home.
That's true. All right, Larry, we got about 3 minutes. I appreciate you coming and sharing that latest stuff. Again, I want to reiterate to you guys, don't go anywhere. Stay right here where you're at. Joe Bakanovic will be debuting his show, Road to Concord, next. And there's no telling what he'll get into, but y'all give some patience and give him some support. Let him talk a few minutes, but give him some phone calls. He'll give out his phone number. It'll be a different one from this one. And he'll be glad to let y'all get on there. So y'all stay tuned. Yeah. And if you can, like Larry said, if you can't stay tuned and watch it, you can pick it up later by going to the archive section at freedomnetworks.com or look at the Facebook page. It'll be saved there too. So appreciate y'all tuning in to see that, and y'all support Joe and his effort. Larry's worked hard with his son Kyle to get him where he's at now. So this is a big step. Yeah. Larry, this is what we've been looking for. And if this goes well, we'll know how to approach other people. We'll know how to set them up.
That's right.
And I just think this is going to go we know it's going to work. It's just we've got to get it perfected and move forward. So appreciate the hard work you've done to get it done. And it's you're just a great asset to our company. And
well, the cause is worth it.
It is.
Right. And so I can't remember who said it, so I can't give the proper attribution. But when you enjoy what you do, it's no longer work. And so that's what we do.
I wonder who did say that.
We enjoy promoting, celebrating, and defending freedom. So it's not work for us.
I think we may have to block somebody. Sid Moore Hobart, she says, let's go Vikings, except that one game, go Wildcats.
Oh, my God.
I'm so let down right now, Larry.
I know.
I'm so let down. I don't know. We got to win that game. All right.
We got to win.
Appreciate you, Larry. All right. Y'all have a good day. We appreciate you. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Joe Bakanovic, Road to Concord is next. We'll be right back, or he will be right back after we get out of here. See y'all in the morning, 6 a.m.
We at Freedom with Steve Nichols want to thank each and every one of you for listening. Together, we will protect, defend, and promote the freedom as our founding fathers envisioned. We believe in the spirit of the Declaration of Independence and strive to protect that spirit daily. Please thank and utilize the goods and services of our sponsors and advertisers every chance you get. For now, we bid you farewell. Have a great day.